All right.
This is the 30-second count.
Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Boy, am I getting fancy or what?
I was going to tell you, that was a pretty good intro. I like it.
I did that. I got on here about 20 till. I was like, oh, shit, I'm not going to get this done. I got this done.
Wow, that was impressive for quick.
I got to tell you, I was digging it. I was digging it. But it had a 30-second countdown clock.
Yeah, that gets kind of lame after a while. I just got to come up with one that's just general, that handles all of us, and then a clip at the end. Like I was trying to get you on there at the end. I was like, oh God, I'm out of time.
It's okay.
But that would be so cool to get one. My God, Saturday night, I can't even remember the last time I did anything with you. I think it was the last time I did. Phil, I got to talk to you too, buddy. The last time I did this was when you all finished up the Rebel Fury game, the Chickamauga game, I think it was.
Yeah, about a month ago.
Yeah, and I think I got on and live stream one night playing that no turning back scenario with the massive confusion towards the end of the fight there.
It was,
but I will tell you,
that was an epic rules destroy
I've
game.
Never done that in my entire life. But I tell you what, I've got two scenarios, two different maps set back here, and I've got what's really cool is the two different scenarios. I don't need the counters. There's no crossover counters. So I got those two scenarios set up back there. And then, of course, I got the TCS game I'm playing right here, which I think TCS is if I didn't have any ASL to play, TCS and Band of Brothers probably all I'd play for tactical.
Yeah, Judd Vance, God rest his soul, he kept telling me, so I got recently the Old Breed. That's that system, right?
Yep.
And, I'm a sucker for anything Guadalcanal anyway. So I have it. I punched it out, and I started, I've got so many games that I want to learn the rules to this summer, and then you go make me, do line of battle. So I'm like, I'm going nowhere fast. I got to be honest with you.
I need to get Todd. Todd knows Nick Roser, and he was on the other day with the MMP podcast. I need to get Todd to read. Todd said he would reach out to him. I need to get him. I want to get him on here with us because he does comment when I post a little video, and I mean, I know that Dean created the system, and who's taking care of it now? It's
Carl Fung. Oh,
it is Carl doing it.
Yeah, Carl's a prince. I mean, so
okay,
yeah. He's a prince. That guy. He's a nice man. I know I've met him somewhere along the way, but he's really doing a lot of the heavy lifting he's more or less picked up BCS. He's picked up line of battle, and I think he got another. He basically picked up Dean's stuff,
right?
And he's good. I mean, he will as time goes on, and he sort of time will remove him from Dean. Dean cast a big shadow for all the right reasons. One of my favorite designers, by the way. But over time he'll start to establish his own place. But he's too good. He's very good.
Right. Let's call out real quick who we got on here. So
yeah,
obviously. Oh, one of the Sweet Brothers is on. Twin, how you doing, buddy? We got Chuck. We got Slav. Who else we got on here? We got Jeff Edwards. Thank you. See you. Good to see you. Phil, tour guide Phil. I'm going to have to email you, buddy. I want to tie down some final things. Turns out, I know we've already got at least one or two people that have already booked their hotels for Gettysburg in October.
Yeah, I told you my wife's coming.
Bring her.
Oh no, she's going to go shopping, but I said we haven't. She likes Gettysburg. She's been there a lot of times because of me, and so she's coming. I'm looking forward to it. You guys will like her. She's if you like Italian girls, you'll like her.
Wardrobe will be on here. He's having a little car hiccup, but he'll be on here. Andre, Richard Care, how you doing? Pete, Almost
Arthur's
Pete,
here.
getting close. Brian, how you? Joe Hammond, I see you.
Arthur.
Yeah, I got to ask this. Well, first off, I don't have any. Like I said, I told y'all before. I don't have any plans. I don't think Mark has any plans.
Yeah.
Alan might have a few things, maybe.
Well,
but
I
this is
I
what we're
started
here
this.
for.
Yeah, I started this mess. It's Saturday night up here in New England. We have potluck suppers. I know you have them all over the place, but up here we have them all the time. So it's why not do a potluck war games? Talk about what we're playing, what's going on. You know, we'll try to get Mark to squeeze out more details of what's coming down the pike. You know, get Hexy going here again. See how his nuclear war game option is these days.
You didn't read the optional rules? I do want to ask a question now that Free Dog's been out for what, a month, 2 months, maybe now?
Yeah, couple months.
Just this is for you people in chat.
I gotta tell you, I think I see some people still first getting their copies. By the way,
Yeah, I
especially
saw.
overseas.
Yeah, well,
There's
Second
still people
Chance
getting
Game,
them.
I saw them post about a week and a half ago. But I'm
Yeah.
curious, you all in chat, how many of y'all are how many of y'all did not pre-order the game and are regretting it now? Anybody? Anybody at all?
The $63 versus the $100 or so price tag these days. I bet. Oh, there's Nordic. He just came in. Hey,
Bob, how
Nordic.
you doing? Elevation. Elevator has guide rail. Very nice. Wait a minute. That almost sounds like Tom Fernbacker. Because I think he works on elevators. Bob, how you, sir?
Thank you, author. Go light. I don't know what the hell that says. 2 went by too fast.
Arthur Gallwitzer. Yeah,
He's playing Empire of the Sun. Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
nice,
that.
nice.
I am too, by the way.
Cool.
Chuck, nope. Well, Chuck, I knew you wouldn't get it though. Arthur, you did not buy Three Dog?
Ooh.
You have got to be kidding me. Especially since I know you like the big games, because I sent you one. I sent you a big Napoleonic one. So on the shelf next room. Good job, Nord. Clipjet, Nord. Nord, Nord, I'm going to razz you so bad tonight. You are just going to, I'm going to obliterate you tonight. I hope you're ready, buddy. Because I haven't had you in a long time.
Yeah, good to see Nord here. Good to see Nord. But anyways, yeah, so we're just talking, you know, what's going on here with games, and you know, hopefully we'll get Wardrobe on and McMurray on here once he gets home, and just chit chat about everything. So anyways, a number of things I got. I mean, well, Jeff, you've actually shot more videos in the past month than I have.
One.
Yeah.
I took a short. That was
Yeah. I've just been busy with vacations, being places, and just doing stuff that I can't. But I'm still playing. I've got, as I was telling the guys here, I've got 5 games going right now, mostly on Vassal. With it, 2 of them are from a designer who happens to be on the show tonight, which is awesome because I've taught 3 people now with the series, and they're all liking it, and they're coming on quickly with it. So,
which series again? I'm sorry, which series?
This is Rebel Fury.
Who makes that? Who created that game?
It's some designer. I mean, he's supposed to be like this big social influencer, and you know.
Oh, yeah.
Brazil.
Yeah, that's me.
No, it's awesome. I'm spreading the word. Mark.
God bless you. God bless you.
Well, look. Okay, so I've been in that mojo gone thing for a little while. It's slowly coming back. So you need to get going, so we can get that Vassal in here, so I can get back to.
So I literally last night. So Jason Carr is the developer. Jason was ill for about a month, and it was, you know, he was sick enough that he wasn't, you know, the boy was sick, but now he's better, and he's back on the thing. And Joel Topin, the glorious Vassal maker of ours, is it's now in the short list to get done. So I will have it. We're getting it. You know, I will be pushing it out to people very quickly, because a lot, you know, the battle scenarios are easily played on one map. That's not a problem. But the campaigns, you need Vassal, unless you got a lot of table space and a lot of time right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you, I realized something in this little downtime that I've had, not really having and trying to play. Believe me, both of these things that I have set up right now they're in my brain and they're intriguing me. It's just pushing myself to sit down and just grind out and play and everything. But I tell you what I learned is for me to play Vassal, one of y'all has to be on playing with me. I can't do it. It's just not.
Well, like I said, when I get the Vassal set, I'll play these campaign games. One of the things that I'm finding, again, this is Lee Moves North. And by the way, I still need 131 orders. So anybody who hasn't ordered it yet, please help me out.
Y'all heard that. Get over there.
I just checked about a second ago. So we got 131 to hit 500.
And this is going to be like not ordering Three Dog, not pre-ordering Three Dog. If you don't get it, you're going to be kicking yourself later.
Now, and by the way, they priced it very nicely. It's 88 pre-pub, but it's 125 post-pub. That's a big, that's a pretty big spread.
Hey, what's the box? Is it going to be? How big is the box going to be?
It's going to have to be more. It's at least 3 because it's just got too many maps in it. And it depends if they put an insert or not. Usually when they don't have the cards, they don't do an insert. So, it won't be like it's not going to be a 4-inch box, but it'll definitely be at least a 3-inch box. There's no question about it. And it's got 3 camera sheets. But what's interesting is of the camp, so the battle scenario, there are 7 one-map scenarios. So if you never did anything but play the one-map scenarios, you're playing Gettysburg and you're playing Antietam, tons of stuff to do.
Nice.
But the campaign games, what's interesting is that I have a June 28th campaign. That's the day that Meade took over the army. And so there, the Union armies are like around Frederick, and Lee is around Chambersburg, and Ewell and his boys are already over in Harrisburg and York. So that scenario, from my experience, which I played it, like half dozen times because it takes a little while. That one seems to generate a battle around Gettysburg area pretty consistently. That's like there's no special rules to make it happen, but it seems to work geographically. That's what happens. But the June 23rd scenario starts when Hooker finally starts heading to the Potomac. So Lee is still crossing the river at Falling Waters. You might know where that is, Hexy. Yeah.
I think
out your window somewhere, probably.
Yeah, open the curtains, we'll see it. Yeah.
Look out the window, you'll see Hexy's
that direction right there.
Yeah, and by the way, literally, guys on Maryland Heights are watching these guys cross the river. So everybody goes, "Oh, they didn't know where the Rebs were. They were watching them cross the river. For God's sake, they knew exactly where the Rebel army was. They were looking at it with telescopes." But anyway, all that aside, that one has so many options because of the geography. The Union army is still coming up, and Lee doesn't have to go all the way up and over. He could just start coming across earlier, which was more the Antietam plan. So it has a lot more sandbox kind of permutations, which that's why I need more testing with. I'll play with you guys. I mean, I want to see what you guys would do with it because there's just so many choices.
That's got to be fun for you to see. All right, so you build it, you create it, you design it, all the bells and whistles, and then you put it in somebody else's hands and you see what the hell they do with it.
Absolutely. I love it. And I actually have found, I mean, no shade on anybody who's a blind tester for anybody, but it has been my experience that 90% of the useful play testing, I am personally observing the game or looking at Vassal files of the game, because I just find that that's far more useful to me personally, seeing the actual play.
Right. Well, I think especially with the system that you've got, because there's so much interaction that the variability is just how each person plays.
Mm-hmm. And as you guys play Cold Harbor, if you move this guy first before this guy, things can come. That line forms in different places. You know what I'm saying? That's good. I mean, that's what you want in a game.
Yep. Yeah. I was just commenting, like I said, I got one of the games and I'm playing Spotsylvania right now, and I've sent you the files when you get a chance. The second one,
I started looking at it. I got it.
The second one's really interesting because all of a sudden he made a move. He didn't even see the move. I didn't see the move, and we're like, oh my God, that's probably the best move possibly of the game.
Hey, that's glorious because that's when things really, that's where some skill. I don't mind games where skill matters, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't want a game on rails. I mean, if you want a game on rails, just read a book. It'll tell you exactly what happened. That's the thing that I'm finding interesting about the Gettysburg campaign. Every book I have literally read 35 books on Gettysburg, and there happens to be, by the way, best guess about 25,000 books on Gettysburg. So there's no chance that I'll ever read all the books on Gettysburg. That's not going to happen.
Oh no,
I read like 35, and the ones I've read are all well known. Some obscure, but not many obscure. But there's a lot of good. But they're talking about what happened, and like some of them, like Coddington talks about what might have happened or could have happened somewhat. But it's just interesting to me that how much this battle, and when you look at Antietam probably only has, still 2,000 books on it, but that's the next largest battle that has books on it. Is Gettysburg's like 25,000, and then 1/10 of that money is Antietam, and after that, and Vicksburg has got a fair amount in the West, but it's not nothing's in the ballpark of Gettysburg,
right?
Nothing's even close.
Yeah,
It's just interesting to me, and when you actually look at the maps and all of the trails and the way and some of the books, like we'll talk about, well, there was this gap and there was this gap, they didn't use them, but you start to see there were a lot of other possibilities that never happened. These are the paths not taken, and that's when the game gets really interesting to me.
Yeah.
Well, you take Gettysburg, and it's pretty much. Look, Antietam, Sharpsburg, that 1862 campaign, that didn't accomplish. I don't think that accomplished a whole lot. But Gettysburg in '63, the possibilities there for the South. That's pretty much the main focus, I would say, in the Eastern Theater. But and then if I'm wrong, didn't Batchelder, didn't he jump right on Gettysburg, making it a park immediately? He didn't waste any time.
No, you're correct. Backler, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, but I always say Backler, or at least that's what I've heard.
It's
and Backler, if you don't know, by the way, you can get him online. But my wife, for an anniversary, 20 years ago, Backler did 3 poster-sized maps of day 1, 2, and 3, and I have them framed in my kitchen. She got them for me, and I framed and I hung them in the kitchen in New York. So it's cool. But what's interesting is Antietam is difficult because of the Lost Order stuff, right? The 3 cigars incident. Right. So in the game, I'm not one to look. If people like to look, if you want to dice off when does the order get found or if it gets found, I'm not into that as much. So the scenario that I have in the game, I call it Order 191. It starts the moment that McClellan gets the thing in his hand. Because that triggers his response, which caught Lee off guard, because Lee was waiting for him to be. Do you think it's a lost cause? You mean like Edward Pollard's book? You mean?
No, I think he's talking about just in general with the South.
No, look, I'll be honest with you. I designed for the people. Every book I've read, the South had and Lee, by the way, his 2 invasions were designed specifically to try to alter the political dynamic in the North. He wrote that to Javis. This is not me making this up. He wrote this it's all in the OR, but he wrote out what he was hoping to do. There are letters he wrote to Seddon, the Secretary of War for the Confederacy, that he was hoping that a victory in '63 would in fact change the mood of the Northern public, that Lincoln wouldn't get reelected. That was what he was trying to do. Didn't accomplish it, but that was his thought. So the South could have won the war, but not materially. They had to get a compromise candidate into the presidency, and that required battlefield victories at certain times, and that didn't happen.
Well, and it wasn't one of the things McClellan, when he was running for president, I don't know if he was specifically, a lot of people saying that I think even some in the South were thinking that if he would have won the election, they would have pretty much sued for just stopping it and just splitting the country in half.
So what happened was, the thing that got Lincoln, and everybody goes, what's the turning point of the war? The fall of Atlanta is the real turning point of the war. There he is.
Hey there, Wardrobe.
What's up?
Get the car problem worked out?
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of.
Enough to get me on here.
Anyway, just to finish up the thought is, so McClellan, the Democratic Party had a platform of negotiation. McClellan said he wasn't supporting that. He was still running on that. That was the platform. And the feeling was that if there ever was a armistice, temporary armistice, they would never go back to fighting. You know, that would have done it. The fall of Atlanta is what flipped the, you know, it was a referendum on the war. And if Lincoln wasn't winning the war, they were going to go, the electorate was going to do something else. And
I want to let me address something here. Andre, yeah. I appreciate the question. That's a good question, but that's not something that we don't discuss that on this channel with those kind of current events. Apologize that you're not getting the coverage down there. I wish it was better, but none of us here can predict what's going to happen over there. So I again apologize that we can't answer that for you.
I must have missed something, but okay.
Yep.
Anyway, so I think the fall of Atlanta was what cemented Lincoln into the office to finish the war. But if McClellan had won, I think the South might have been a separate country.
Yeah. Just jumping back, you spilled a little bit of the beans of order, finding the order on there. So it starts at that point. So all the units are pretty much back a little bit around Frederick, and then
actually most of the army is east. Well, they find the order. So in around September 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, Lee crosses the Potomac, and his army is around Frederick, Maryland.
Yeah.
And then they pull back, and at that point, Lee is waiting to be attacked, and but it's not happening. So he starts doing some other stuff, and then finally McClellan was not actually in charge of the field army. He was in charge of the defenses of Washington. Right. And then eventually they said, we got to get this guy out of here. So they actually then made McClellan the head of the army again, the field.
Yeah, they put him back in charge of the Army of the Potomac.
And at that point, that's when this, I guess it's from the Third Corps. These guys find it. They go through one of the encampments of D.H. Hill's division, I think it was.
Yeah.
And they find the Three Cigars, the order, gets to McClellan, and that immediately energizes him on September 12th, 13th. It's in the scenario. I think it's the 13th. It's the 13th. It's the 13th. And so now McClellan starts moving. And so that is where I start the four map. That's a 4-map campaign. Okay. But there is a South Mountain scenario. There's the Battle of Antietam scenario, which has, its own scenario. But then there's this campaign, Order 191 campaign, where, you attack, the attack on, they got to fight their way through Turner and Fox and Crampton Gaps. And, that's the South Mountain battles. And then of course, Jackson is diverted. And that was the thing. It was interesting that what surprised Lee was that the Harper's Ferry garrison, which is not far from where you live, Hexie, just didn't run away. They were surprised by that. And his line of communication ran right. He needed that line of communication. And so, he figured, I'll pull back, let Jackson deal with that. And once that's done, I can do other things. And that's when, but also McClellan comes roaring forward. Yeah. That's what catches that's the scenario, that's the,
and I think that's what breaks up the 1862 campaign is that
100%.
Nord was talking about, he just picked up, Todd.
Oh, I read that. Oh, yeah. That's that is it's Hartwig, isn't it his name?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hartwig's books. He wrote 2 books. There's 2 of them.
Yeah, I got the other one, I think. We bought them the same day at Antietam.
And they are they're incredibly detailed and useful. I read them both. As did
now. Here's a good one. Here's a good one here. If you want to read that, I read
that already. Oh yeah, that's a good book. Yeah,
I love that book.
Yeah. Did you read? I got the first book I read on the campaign. One of the oldest ones is from. Was it from Cedar Mountain to Antietam by Stackpole? Yeah, that's the other one. Yep.
To Antietam Creek. Yep.
Oh yeah, it took me more than a day to get through those 2 books.
Audiobooks on Amazon.
Todd
Good
does a lot of
long
that.
drive.
Todd does a lot of audio stuff. And of
I
course,
gotta tell you something. I can read faster than they can talk. So
in Gettysburg, obviously the Atlas is a must-have, but the Fawn's first day at Gettysburg is,
Yeah.
I think that's a wonderful, wonderful book.
100%, and so is his. He's got two others. They're hard. The second day book is hard to get without spending a fortune. So I have it on. I had to get it from interlibrary loan. I didn't feel like paying $150 for that book.
I got it.
It took me like a month to get the book through interlibrary loan. But then but the one I did have was the book on Culps and Cemetery Hill is a good one. Yeah, well, of course that's Sears.
Now, see, I talked to a lady in Gettysburg that knew Harry Fonz, and matter of fact, I think that's where I bought.
Is he dead now? Is he dead now?
I don't know. This is
a while back. Yeah, that is like a Bible to me. I have 3 copies, by the way.
She told me that he even said that his book on the third day, the Cemetery in Culps Hill one, he even thought they were bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I read it anyway.
Yeah.
Well, and there's a couple of other. I mean, look, I was going to drag him down here, but it's just too many books. But I read like a dozen books on Antietam. You just showed me 2. There was the Cedar Mountain 2 one. Then there's obviously Landscape Turned Red, which is the other Sears book, which is an earlier book before he wrote the Gettysburg book. I found out somewhere along the way. You guys know who Bruce Catton was, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
He mentored Stephen Sears.
Yeah, I had heard that before. Yep.
Yep.
I want to ask
he helped him. He kind of tutored him and kind of read some of his manuscripts before they were published.
I'm wondering if this is going to be any good, and I'm wondering if it's just a recreation of Chuck. You just not too long ago played the Varnish game. I played it a little while back. Kind of an isolated approach because they've only got one access that the Germans can really take. And I'm wondering what this one's going to be like. I'm going to have to go look at that because that's an interesting battle, Varnish is. So
go ahead.
I took down my battles in the East game I had, so I played like 2 turns. I said, no, man, I need to spread my wings on this line of battle a lot more. Yeah, let's go to that line of battle real quick.
Yeah.
So I was all pumped up about, we're going to get new rules. We're going to get new rules. And then on the second or first page inside the book, I said, these rules are not changed from version 2.0. They've added some stuff. So it's still the same rules, but they modified a few things in it. And I got to say, so far, I'm not disappointed. And I think I have resolved myself to understanding the opening volley and closing rolls does make life a lot simpler. In that, I guess that closing in for combat and stuff. And this stuff about like when they have charge listed in there when you close, but it's not necessarily to me, it's like the simple rules of GBACW. It's not necessarily closing in there and hand-to-hand fighting. I noticed that all these designers that write these tactical Civil War games, they all seem to have it hit on the button that these guys didn't run in there all the time and throw bayonets at each other. They just closed to close range and did a lot of volley back and forth to each other. And then if one broke, the other one was able to take the ground. So, and I guess maybe Gettysburg and a couple other places throughout the history of the Civil War, they did get in there and mix it up. So,
by the way, when you made that comment, I think it's a good, interesting topic. So, all tactical games, I mean, like ASL included, and any tactical game, there's always this issue of non-phasing reaction. Whatever it is. I've got machine guns or rifles or cannon, and you're moving around in front of me. There's always got to be some rules for. I'm not going to sit there and watch you close on me, right? Just I'm going to do something. And I read carefully the opening volley. By the way, I want to confirm, opening volley is not like a first fire kind of thing. It's just how Dean is handling reaction fire, whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be the unit that once you trigger, opening, the fire, it could be from any unit that's, usually it's going to be the guy that's closest, but you can shoot, anybody can shoot at him once,
and I want to discuss that. Go ahead and make your statement, and then I want to discuss opening volley.
Yeah. So So again, every tactical game at some level has to deal with, sometimes it's called opportunity fire, but reaction. There's non-phasing reaction, shooting at the guy who's running in front of them and stuff. And I think that, that's how Dean handled it here. GBACW has more of not unlike the Bataille series. As I close, there's a series of defensive fire and opportunity fire and
reaction movement.
And there's always a morale check every time you try to close at the enemy, and every time you get hit, there's a reaction. So there's all these, they're trying to show the confusion of how a unit might go through the storm of fire. And this one is not any better or worse than any other one I've seen. I mean, just to be honest,
right.
I mean, but it's doing the same thing, just a little bit differently. But it is doing the same thing. You close it on me, and I get to shoot you somehow. That's really
all right. So I think so if I go through all the Civil War tactical systems, all right. Let me make 2 points here. One, I think GBACW full rules. I think and I guess simple to an extent has it. I think they have the best sort of I'm offensive firing and defensive firing, where this guy shoots, and even though he might cause 150 casualties, the unit he shot at is going to return fire at the strength before they lost. So it's like it's happening at the same time. So it's all simultaneous. So we're playing these tactical games, and granted, we're moving one regiment at a time, but in reality, the whole board is moving at one time. So here's my, and this is still my dilemma with opening volleys. The only thing, and it's not going to drive me away from the game because I like the simple approach, is it says in there a unit can open volley an unlimited amount of times. I don't like that because you got, let's say there's a brigade moving him with 5 regiments moving in line in his direction. They're moving at the same time. How can that one regiment that's going to fire open volley shoot at all 5 different regiments? I like the idea of anybody can shoot. It doesn't have to be that unit, all right? But I'm just a little lost on one unit being able to just unlimited opening volley.
I hear your point, and I don't have a dissenting voice to what you're saying, but it is the problem. So here's the problem. So one of the reasons I have come to favor interleaving movement is that is the closest thing I can think of without plotting, where you get sense of simultaneity, right? Nobody's going to get to do all their things first. But regardless of but a tactical game is different. It's very obvious, at the grand tactical level, at the campaign level, it's a little bit more smushed up, right? The time scale is different, the scale is different, so you can kind of abstract that stuff. But when you're at the tactical level, you're moving in front of me, and I want to shoot you. And by the way, it's one of the problems. Any of the combat commander, even the venerable up front, I don't have the card that lets me shoot, drives people crazy, right? Yeah. But that's this whole how much interaction is reasonable. And what happens is, if I know that you can only shoot opportunity fire once, then I will then send some guy in to suck up the bullets, and I'm going to send other guys. You can't stop them. So this is sort of responding to that aspect of just gamer stuff, which is hard to deal with sometimes.
Yeah, and that's why ASL came up the way that ASL is now, with the whole multiple defensive fire and such. That trying to stop that gaming tactic of send as many guys in.
Which is closer to what open volley, the volley thing, is trying to do, I think. And let's face it, it's 15-minute turns, so, which is crazy, by the way. I think that, anyway, 15-minute turn. I would say that a regiment could load and fire. Those guys could put up. I mean, forgetting about the early on, but they're going to get tired. They're at a minimum. They're going to put out 1 round or 2 rounds per minute per guy. That's kind of what the average would be.
I'm just trying to picture. I've got a regiment in front of me that's headed hell's bells towards me. 500-600 men, and I just loaded, popped up my musket, and I fired. I'm sorry, but those, I'm just thinking of combat. The nearest enemy to me is my biggest threat. And I'm just having a hard time seeing a unit being able to, okay, he closed on me, I'm going to shoot at him. Oh, now this guy's moving. To me, that's just telling. I'm looking at that like we're not doing this. The rule's not written for this to be simultaneous movement, is what it sounds like. Because now you've given this guy who's got a unit right in his face. Now he's got. Now I tell you what I do like is it does say that if a unit fires, it's got to be. I'm gonna have to dig through it, but there's somewhere we're talking about if a unit fires, it's got to be the nearest enemy unit in its front. But I don't know if that applies to opening volley.
Wait, that's that's 9.4. I was looking no 9.2. I was looking at it carefully because you brought it up, and I have the rule. I'm literally looking at the rule book here. So you have you got a trigger.
Wonderful.
Anyway, but your point's well taken. I think the point is at some level, what I liked about the opening volley rule was, and this comes down to just sort of. So if I got a regiment coming straight at me, the guy shoots at me, right? And the other guy comes nearby. Any unit any unit can shoot at the guy who triggers the triggering action can be fired on by anybody. So there may be other opportunities that are better than the guy that he's closing on. Guy from the side, or there could be other geometries here, I guess. But ultimately, it's an abstraction. Let's face it. There's all right. Every game is an here opening. Well, here it is. Those are the triggers. I read this rule, by the way, 5 times last night because after you said it in that video. How many available stacks? There's only one use of a trigger.
All right, you guys look at that. I'm going to say, hey, Todd, how are you doing? What are you up to?
Sorry.
No, that's cool. Let me think here. Well, you just got me thinking about line of battle. I need to reach back out to Nick and see if we can get him on.
I wish you would
talk about that.
He had a good interview with MMP guys there, but we could maybe come up with some different questions, or just we might cover some of the same stuff. But so that's something I've been thinking about. Cool. I wrapped up my Holland 44 game with my local dude I've been playing, Jerry. Different Jerry.
I gotta watch
Jerry.
that.
I do a really good deep down analysis about the why I lost and blah blah blah. No, but it was good. He was a good opponent. He was able to say, "Oh, here's some things I think you did well, and some things you could have done maybe different." But it's just he was good. He's a good opponent to play that in. So that was cool to finish that.
Are you happy that one's done?
Yeah, I don't know about that system. I used to love that thing, and I don't know. I just got so used to chit pull and randomness and all that stuff. I think I kind of just enjoy that stuff more. So, but I mean, they're beautiful games. The instructions are pretty clear. There's always a lot of chrome in his stuff, which is good, but it's just a lot of stuff to remember. And it is amazing when you have a good opponent. It can work through a lot of things. So that's cool. I hate to say it right now. I'm working to figure out how to get my guy up to a level 7. My investigator in an alchemist. Mark's like, what is going on here?
Oh, you know what? My son, I'm starting to learn that game to teach it to my granddaughters. They're very into role-playing ideas. I want to see if I can get them into Pathfinder. I have it sitting on the table over there. Is it good?
It's a crunchy one. I'll tell you. There are so many role-playing games out there. It is bonkers. Really good ones that are, I think, this is very crunchy. I mean, this is, to me, the reason I even play ASL is because I played some D&D and Pathfinder, because to me, this is as complicated as that stuff, because it's funny. They're in the rules all the time. I don't even know how they make a game out of it. It's crazy. But anyway, it's, again, it's the people I'm with, Mark, the guy that runs it, my friends. It's fun hanging out with them and doing goofy stuff and dying.
I used to look. Back in the day, SPI came out with their, Dragon Quest was the SPI version, and I had a nephew who was a young boy, and he was into this stuff, and I used to run him through it, and he had a great time,
Yeah. I mean, you're playing with your grandkids will be great. You'll love it. They'll love it playing with grandpa. You kidding?
And I'll simplify the shit out of it. Don't worry about it. It won't be that crunchy when I play it. Every time they roll the dice, oh, you got him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my friend, he's running Shadow Dark, and he was playing with some his nieces, nephews, and some friends, and they were just doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I can't remember what his niece did. is just some, I mean, because their minds are just everywhere. So they can think of some really stuff that we'll never think of. And gosh, what was it? Oh, they're going into battle against who knows. And she's like, okay, all right. I don't remember her name. Mary, what do you want to do? And she goes, I dropped my sword. And everyone's like, drop your sword? Yeah. I take my bag of lemons and I start hitting him with my bag of lemons. He's like, okay, roll for it. Let's see what happens. And who knows? She did some damage to him or whatever. And
it's kind of cool that you could do that, though. I mean,
yeah, no, and you just say yes, and all right, let's do it. And then you could joke about how the stuff gets in their eyes, the acid, and like, I don't know. So,
by the way, so the first time I ever played D&D, Gary Gygax was the game master, and the key lesson I got out of D&D that I've used in life is you always talk to the NPCs, right? And so I'll be in a town that I've never been in before. Like I was in Newport, and these guys I was with, they go, hey, where do we get a burger? So I see this guy mowing the lawn. So I go, excuse me. He goes, you live around? He goes, yeah. He goes, if you were getting a burger, where'd he goes, oh, yeah, go down one block and go to the right. So you talk to the NPCs, everything works out great.
Exactly. That's hilarious. I talked to an NPC today, and we had a lot of things in common. Anyway, that's cool. Yeah,
it's all about the NPCs in my mind.
Yep, I think you're right.
So
anyway, that's what I'm working on. There's a new it's not a new miniature game, but it's a miniature game that's been revised, and I help proof it as I do. And I think I'm getting a copy of the game. I think McMurray's going to be able to get a copy of the game.
What is the name of the game? What is this game period on?
Oh gosh, they changed the name of it. It used to be called Iron Cross. It was a miniature rule set
before World War II, I guess.
It's for World War II. Yeah, it's like it's like company level. So each stands a squad, and you got each tank's a tank, and it's a pretty easy system. It's not too complex. So anyway, McMurray and I played, and the guy said, "Oh, if you got a buddy that'll play it with you there, I'll send it to you." I was like, "Whoa!" I mean, you rarely get this for proofing. So I was like, "Yeah, this is awesome." So he's sending me some nice stuff. So that's coming out in the next couple of weeks. Did
you ever play Sergeants?
I never did play that. I saw it, but I never did play it because I was like,
I got back in the day. I literally have a ton of that stuff. I can put up an entire French village.
Yeah, it was cool looking, but I had other stuff.
I played it for a while with my son. He loved it, and you got these cool cars.
I think every game has secrets that people aren't discovering.
What do you mean by that? I'm kind of curious what you mean by that. I think this might be one of the viewers off our vertical.
No, it's not. No, he's been.
Oh, Andre's normal. Okay. Yeah, Andre, I'm kind of curious what you mean by that. Like, what do you mean? Like do you have an example of one you mean? I'd be.
Yeah, I wonder what a secret is. I mean,
yeah, let me hear. Let me see if this. Oh, holy shit! I'm curious because that's an interesting question. Well, Nordic, I'm not running the game.
By the way, just as a side, Hexy.
Back to your thing. I just want to get wardrobe in. Go ahead.
Thanks for including me, Camp. I was feeling lonely.
Oh, we want to include you.
Oh wait, you were asking a question. There's a play note, by the way, on Line of Battle. It says, "Beware, separate triggers can allow an enemy stack to fire any number of opening volleys. You can't suppress the enemy by making dead bodies in front of them." So you can technically keep shooting. Now, if that bothers you, it's cognitive, dissonance. But that is the rule because there's an actual play note to it. There it is.
Yeah,
and we can't ask Dean, and I can't call up Dean anymore and say, "Hey, Dean, what were you thinking here?" I can't. I mean, it's sad,
I think Nick would be open to answering that kind of question. So
and that's we were talking about that before you got on about getting you to get hold.
Well, I would get Carl Fung on for that because he's the one who did this.
Okay.
Well, Carl Fung is the guy who did this.
Carl would do that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't know him well. I mean, I've met him. I've talked to him. He's a very nice guy. If you should send him an email. He's easy to get a hold of, and he's easy to get a hold of, and he'll answer your question, and he'd be happy to come on. I'm sure.
Speaking of
talk about it because he's been on other things before.
Yeah. Camp, have you had any more discussion about? Oh God darn it!
You talk about early threatens Washington.
That, but wasn't there something else we were talking about too?
Yes, I had a few things. I've got a few things percolating. Nothing solid yet in terms of other shows, other than our good friend Mark who's now over there.
I have a question for
who will always come on. Go ahead, Todd.
That's why I have no life.
Yeah. Perfect. That's like you fit in with us well.
Yeah.
What Mark was I don't know if I feel like I might have brought this up last time. I don't know.
Go for it.
Are you doing an expansion or another module for Empire in the Sun that covers China and all that?
100%. In fact, it's going to go on the P500 in September.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay. Yeah, I was talking to my guy Rich, who I play, who I'm playing BCS with right now, and I said, this is funny. Right now, he's using the Empire of the Sun box to use as a plexiglass holder, so his cat doesn't get to the game that we're playing. So he has that, and some other games just holding plexiglass.
Wow.
Every game's got its purpose, Mark. You never know.
I'm glad to see I'm doing something.
Yeah. Anyway, the point is, I haven't ever played it, and it's like, oh, maybe we should try that one sometime. But I said, I think he's expanding it to because very few games cover that. Like Daisenso does. Some of those kind of sandbox games cover that. But
Yeah, this one came out of the blue. These two Chinese guys. I mean, for all I know, this is Xi Ping's, son-in-law. I don't know, or it could be like nobody.
probably.
But I know a guy, but his name is Ji So, and the other guy's name is always written in Chinese, so I can't even pronounce it. And they came to me with this, expansion, and we've been working on. I mean, Francisco Colmenar is my good friend and is the developer of it, and it's done. I mean, I've been playing it. And by the way, for the Empire of the Sun guys, they say, well, I don't know if I can get into it. Rally the troops. You know what I'm talking about with that?
I do. I can't play it, but yeah, I got it.
Why can't you play it?
My computer won't run it. I've tried.
Nathan.
Isn't it just a browser?
Maybe I should try that out. I mean, I might be.
It runs on any browser. It doesn't use software. It's running off of your browser. Anyway, Rally the Troops. It's almost done. It's Empire of the Sun. Was Empire of the Sun standalone or expansion? So the China expansion is a standalone version of the game.
Now you got my attention, because the only game I've been wanting a game, and I've said it for years, on Japan and China, and the only one I have is the War of the Suns, and I got it out to try to go through the rules. I'm like, nah, that's too much for me to take on.
I have 2 copies of it, and I've played it. It is, what's interesting about the game is its detail on the units and the leaders that, we never hear of these guys, right? We don't know it. And that's all in the game. But the system is very 1980s, as I recall, so it's kind of a little bit clunky, but it's playable. It's got, people will moan about errata, but you can play it right out of the box. I always come up, if I come up with as long as I can set it up, if I come into a problem, I'll roll dice. I don't really care. I'll just keep rolling forward. I don't get too emotional about it. But this one is interesting. I have the map here, but it does fill in that. What's interesting about let me say what's interesting about it. So in the game, the way I handled it originally was it's called a piston model. I handle it as just the front line is moving forward or back, based on effort. And its goal was to be a resource sink for the Allies if the Japanese put effort into it. So if the Japanese are putting effort into China and you ignore it and it surrenders, you're screwed. So you got to put effort into it. So it's a resource sink. But if the Japanese don't do anything, you don't got to do much. And what's interesting, the expansion, even with all the units on the board, plays like sometimes the Japanese are getting interesting and it becomes a little bit of a focus of the game. But if the Japanese ignore it, it kind of doesn't do anything. So it seems to emulate the track pretty well. And you get there's 19 new cards specifically in the deck, and the map's different, obviously, and it's got some cool rules. And what Francisco's been doing is if somebody asked about the standalone expansion thing, I had them integrate the expansion directly into the core rules, but in red. So you get a version of the rules. So you don't have to go looking up, you don't have to in your head go, oh, here's a rule, where does it go? It's literally in the rule book where it should be. So I think that's going to help people. It should be pretty interesting to see how it goes.
Well, that'll be interesting. I mean, maybe I don't know if it'd be worth talking about it on this when it comes out for pre-order, but maybe we could talk about it. Hey, just real quick, I noticed a couple things. Wise Guy, he's on here. Thanks for coming on, man. And then Andre kind of verified his
supplies.
BCS does it. I mean, GCACW does get to it if you play the campaign.
Well, it comes down to time scale. So if you're doing the Battle of Gettysburg, logistics doesn't play a role because it's too short a period of time. Guys got enough, pieces of bread in their pocket, and they got enough bullets in the around for a 3-day battle. But if you're doing anything that's longer, then you have to deal with logistics. Otherwise, it kind of gets silly.
Yeah.
Let's address this question right there, or this statement from Nord. I already told Todd.
What does it say?
Someone should make a game about the Guadalcanal
But
campaign.
it already exists.
Yeah.
Is that the Avalon Hill old one that somebody's redoing now?
At company scale?
I don't know. Was that company scale?
I don't know. All I know is that I'm getting a Guadalcanal game from Vince Cooper. He messaged me the other day. Oh, Mechanical. Yeah, forgot about that.
And there's another one. The follow-on was called Bloody Ridge, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a very solid company level Guadalcanal. I mean, in fact, one of the only game reviews I ever wrote, because Berg said to me he had a magazine called Brog, Berg's Review of Games. I reviewed this game 25 years ago.
Oh, interesting.
But and it's a Dean Essick game, by the way. It's quite good.
Tactical combat system. So TCS. I mean, each counter is a platoon, I believe, right?
I'm looking at the game right now.
Yeah, but you're going to be you're going to have a company.
Well, it's platoons, yes, but there are smaller breakdowns, like for heavy machine gun sections and all that stuff.
And it's a command game, so you're kind of commanding companies and stuff. You're not like just getting guys scattered all over the place. So
there's
TCS right there.
Oh,
which one is that?
This is GD what?
41.
Oh, GD is like Gross Deutschland.
Yep. Yeah, they had GD 40, 41, 42, I think.
Yeah, 40, 41.
Yeah, anyway, so if somebody's looking for a Guadalcanal one, I would take a look at Mechanical or Bloody Ridge as a good start. And Dean, one thing Dean knew about was artillery, so he handles that very well in those systems. And it's got that. It's a little hard to play. It's actually easy to play solo and hard to play solo. You write these orders out, graphic orders of where you're going and all that stuff. And if you can forget about what you wrote, it can get interesting.
Well,
Mark, if someone told you they wanted a tactical Pacific game, land based, what would you go at it with?
I just said Mechanical would be.
No. If somebody told you to create one, what would you go at it with?
Tell them
if I was doing a tactical game. Mm-hmm. On what? On Guadalcanal?
On the Pacific, anywhere in the Pacific, and it had to be a land-based tactical. I figured Guadalcanal would be a good one. Would Iwo Jima be a good one to get after? Or
so the issue is Guadalcanal is probably it would have to be that or one of the New Guinea battles, because when you get to Iwo Jima, other than the Japanese have gotten to this fortress kind of dug in doctrine, so they do counterattack, but mostly they're just you got to dig them out hole by hole is what you're doing. And and that's a good solitaire game if you want to look at it that way, right? Because the Japanese aren't going to do much other than open fire on you all the time. But Guadalcanal does have the Japanese coming in and maneuvering in the jungle and coming up on attacking the different spots of the perimeter. But ground combat in the Pacific is, ultimately Tarawa was probably pretty good. Tarawa has always been, the Japanese, and again, the one thing they didn't know is they killed the command cell got wiped out by a 5-inch shell by accident that nobody knew about. That's why there was no banzai charge the first night, because there was nobody to call one. So a lot of funny things happen in wars. The biggest missing element of the Pacific is the Battle of Leh. Well, that's a good one also. That's the Australians fighting their way through a lot of nasty stuff. And remember, the one that I've actually got if I could figure out how to do a 3-dimensional board, Kokoda Trail would be really interesting.
Yeah, there is one.
Boy, do I have something for you.
There we go. McMurray's on here. What do you got?
What do you got, McMurray?
No, just if I could figure out how to do a 3-dimensional board.
Yeah, Murray's got you covered.
Gaming.
Well, you have to talk, Gar. If you got a 3-dimensional board, I'll put a game on it.
Like,
Oh, great. Now you got to make it.
okay, let me holler at Pat. We'll play. I mean, Rommel. I wish Rommel had rules for
Pacific.
Yeah, because that is a really good like midway between right. It's in a miniatures format, but it feels like you're kind of playing a board game.
Yep. It's got squares on it, doesn't it?
It's gridded and just you get the combat efficiency for each base, which is a platoon. It degrades like you're flipping to the next step, right? It's not you lose one figure, you'll lose another figure, or you hit a point, it's gone. It degrades like you're rocking through steps. That'd be pretty fucking cool though, especially because it's almost operational level.
Yeah.
The idea is that
what has Marcus done on 3D for TCS? I haven't seen what that is.
3D hex boards for TCS.
When you say 3D, I mean you just mean showing like
what a lot of the times what the guys do is they like take the map and then they take each layer or each elevation and cut it out with like not MDF but like foam core. So they reprint the map on people do ASL boards that way too. It's insane, but it looks pretty cool. Especially it's really helpful.
But what I'm looking for is like like when you see like somebody's really clever with cardboard. So like you literally could build like imagine building a bridge with cardboard.
Yeah.
Like you get in a box, you punch out the piece and you sticking together like a Lego thing, but you get this kind of I wouldn't know how to do that, design that, but if I'm looking for like basically a mountain bridge.
Yeah.
And it has flat spots where counters can move up the trail and fight and do stuff, but you get to see when I was in Canberra, Australia for a job, 20 years ago, I went to the Australian War Museum and they have this amazing exhibit and I saw it and it was just like it showed the thing from the side. They showed the mountain, the Kokoda Trail from the side and all the different battles. That's the game I would want to do. So, but you got to have this physical, and I can't expect people to start cutting out and doing physical. What you're talking about is arts and crafts. It's got to come out of the box where they assemble it.
I've played it. I've played it. Anybody else? I'll bet not. I've played it.
Calm down.
God.
There was a battle done at Historicon this year. It was all about the Revolutionary War primarily, and a guy redid I don't know the battles from the Revolutionary War, but some mountain hill, very big hill battle, and he did it to scale.
Oh, Kings Mountain.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's the one down in South Carolina.
Okay, he did it to scale, so the figures matched the thing, and he did.
Wow.
He built it in such a way that the slope wasn't too much, but it was still to scale, and he put felt on the bottom of the figures, so they didn't slide off. You were able to move them up without them sliding down the hill.
I would like to see pictures of that. That must have been cool as hell.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome.
That model, I call that model railroad kind of talent.
Yeah.
That's like, I've seen guys, there was a guy in my neighborhood when I was a kid, and he was one of those guys, and around Christmas time, he would invite people in, and he had in his basement, the whole basement, was just, I don't even know what to describe it. It looked like an alpine railroad track and things going around and stations, and it was insane. And it was obviously like, a life's work, but it was beautiful. I don't know whatever happened to the set when he passed away a long time ago, but what an amazing, like I said, I've seen it. It's amazing to see.
Yep.
All right, Doug, do you want a game that is specifically designed as a solo game, or you just mean any ACW game that you can play solo? Because any of the GBACW games, this line of battle stuff, well, if you're going to write orders, it can be you can just do it.
Well, it depends. If you play,
Murray, you're echoing.
The Worthington has a game called 1862, which is like a State of Siege game.
Oh.
Totally solitaire, beautiful little game, but that's like, it comes in a box like this big. It's a good travel game. I've played it a few times. Got nice cards. It's worth 3 or 4 plays for sure. I've played it 3 or 4 times. I had a good time, and I have the box sitting. After you play 3 or 4 times, kind of you're there. I'll give it to somebody at some point. They can mess around with it, but that's the kind of game. That's an ACW game, and it's solitaire. But I don't know that it's certainly not tactical, right? It's very theater level.
Well, it's going to be what your flavor is, Doug. I mean, what particular you're looking for.
Oh, you just said it.
There is one. I mean, I'll throw this out. There's one it's okay. It's Herman Luttman's Pickett's Charge. Yeah. That's a tactical game. It's kind of on rails, though. It's
called in Magnificent Style, isn't that the name?
Yeah, Magnificent Style. Yep.
But
what is that, Phil? What is the King's Mountain? Anybody know anything about that?
It's the battle I just described, but on the hill with the stands that were on.
Yeah, there was a famous.
Okay.
The British guy was named Ferguson. He got killed in the battle. He was famous for inventing the Baker rifle and all this kind of stuff. Yeah.
The Ferguson rifle with this, it's a breech loader with a threaded breech that threads down. They're super cool.
Yeah, but I think he was the guy who invented it. He was killed at Kings Mountain, I believe.
Yes, he was.
Wasn't the Baker rifle the one that a lot of the Brits and Napoleonic era carried, with like sharps and?
Yeah, once the, especially the Peninsula, the 95th and the 65th in the North American continent, I think. Yeah, we're armed with the Baker rifle.
I saw a documentary about that the other night. So.
Also,
and Kings Mountain is where like the backwoods guys kind of came together, and they were pissed off and they took them out. And I think most of the British guys were not British, or they weren't British regulars. They were mostly Tory units, I believe.
Tories, yeah, they were Tories.
Tories.
You lose me before the Napoleonics. I just, and then and like I say, the ancients it's still kind of new to me, but I'm having fun with the ancient stuff. So,
well, good. By the way, when I see you, I ended up with an extra copy of Thunderbolt, so I'm going to dump it on you just so you can be tortured.
Oh, his heart's going to be broken, Mark.
Hey, he was the one that told me, knowing what I like to play, that might not be up my alley, but it looks so damn good.
Look, I said I will give you a copy of Gettysburg, and then you can try it. And if you don't like it, you can give it to somebody else. How's that?
I would say yes. Yes, it does.
The only thing I would ask though is don't sell it. Give it away. I don't want.
No. Yeah, I would. That would definitely.
As long as you give it away, I'm good with it.
So there's a lot more people I want to ask that question again. Or I asked earlier. Is there anybody that did not? You didn't order 3 Dog Deluxe and you're regretting it now?
Everybody who didn't order 3 Dog Deluxe is regretting it now.
Exactly.
Why is it out?
Yeah.
No, I mean, is it out of stock?
Oh no! I'm just curious because it's been out now 2 months now. So,
now you had the great price. You guys know what was in the box. I mean, for the $63, you got like a ton of stuff, and now it's what 108, 115, whatever it is now.
You still got the shrink wrap on it.
No, I don't. No, I don't. That's not true. Look. That's not true. Lying. Okay. You lie, sir. You lie. But I will tell you that for me to play a game, I have to punch it out, and I'm just like, oh my god, I have to punch this out and organize it. That's what's holding me back right now, but not the game. It's just like, oh my god.
Jeff, I do have mine clipped now.
Oh, it took you 2 months to do it? You know what? I think what we're going to do is on Gettysburg on the 19th of October, instead of touring the battlefield, we're going to have a Hexie teaches clipping class.
Nice.
You guys know who Gary Mengel is. I think I've said this before, but I got a copy of. I've always liked Krieg, Total Krieg, and I got Axis Empire. And I look at this thing and I'm going, oh my god, look at all those counters, and I have to organize this thing. And then Gary Mengel was mentioning that there was this one game he really wished he could get on the Pacific. And I happened to have the game, and I had bounced. I'm not going to say what it was, but I bounced off of it. I said, okay, I got it. I don't know what to do with this. And so I said to him, I'll tell you what, I will give you this game if you punch and organize my Axis Empires. And he went for it. So I have the best organized Axis Empires. And he's like you, Hex. He's got, these special millimeter clipping things, and he makes little inserts to the trays, and it's all organized like by date and size and color. It's so beautiful. I don't want to play it. It's so beautiful. It's so well organized. And I gave him the game, of course, and everybody was happy. So, I'll tell you what, Hexie, I'll give you Thunderbolt if you'll clip my GBACW.
He'll do it in a heartbeat.
Hey,
Send it to him now.
Todd,
We'll talk
you know what
afterwards.
I'll do?
It's
I'll
coming
send
in the
you
mail.
mine.
It's coming in the mail. It's
He
coming
will
in the
have
mail,
it done.
baby.
He will have it done on the 19th. You give it to him in the morning. It'll
I'm
be
all
done.
good. So I will. No, what I'll do is I'll take Thunderbolt and I'll take
Okay.
the GCAB something. I'll just mail it to him, and whenever he gets around to it, he'll mail it back to me, and he keeps the Thunderbolt. That would be great.
This guy here,
you're on. That deal's done. Everybody witnessed it. Right?
Bill Needles has a channel. Bill, you correct me if I'm wrong. His channel is called Punched.
Oh, that's him. Punch
Yep.
is good. Yeah, you do a good
Very
job.
good.
Yeah.
Very
I know.
good. All right, here we go. Here we go, Arthur. I'm not going to convince you that it's better,
Amen.
but I'm going to say that it is phenomenal just as well as Blind Swords is.
Yeah, I want to be clear. I think these things are apples and oranges conversations. I mean, they're all fruit. I got that part, right? But one's a banana.
Yeah, we're all
fruits
for sure.
When people compare, various systems to each other, they look at these things differently. Blind Swords has got this chit pulling, got these random event things running around and all this, and Black Swan's the same as Blind Swords, only has cards. I mean, it's effectively the same CRTs. GBACW is much more into a different way of looking at command, really.
Amen.
Everybody shoots, everything gets shot at. That's clear. And then if you look at like the Worthington stuff, which is really nice also, it's different, right? It's at a brigade level. And then, so they're all different, and like I said, and then when you go to, and there's nothing like the grand tactical stuff I've been doing. And then you got GCACW, which has I don't know that there's any real competitor to GCACW these days that's around, quite frankly.
Not with the depth. Not with the depth. I mean, I still like the old CWBS system with of the systems that they got that have the orders in them. I think CWBS is the best.
Yeah.
And I have one of those. I have two of those. I have the Gettysburg one and the Antietam one of old things, right? But I think the Antietam one's called like In a Quiet Place. It had a weird title. I don't know.
Yeah, it's in a quiet place too. I just played it on Vassal with somebody.
The graphics suck, but the game is good.
Yeah,
the graphics are 80s, 90s graphics, but
it's really rudimentary stuff. But that's typical of that era. I mean, we didn't have 4-color Pantone print.
Right.
Oh, he's got his clippers. There you go.
Right.
Twos, baby.
Beautiful.
2mm.
I mean,
Jeff uses the 30 centimeter rounder. His counters become round counters when he clips.
Hey, come on now.
By the way, Andre, you said something about Pacific. I don't think Pacific is more solo friendly than European. I don't know. Not in tactical, like not ASL. There's too much hidden stuff. Maybe starter kit.
Mark is my new favorite person.
I don't know.
Oz.
Mark, in our Brisbane group, we just feel shameful. Well, I would agree with it generally.
I don't. I mean, the only time I really feel clipping counters is necessary is tactical games, because you got to pile. The guys have to be in line. The bar system. When it gets to be funky to move units around and change their facing when they're the edges are catching. But when you're in an operational level game, unless I'm going to play the game a lot, I just I want to just play it once, and if I like the game, I'll clip it maybe later. But right away, I just want to play the thing, see what's going on.
Right.
Your losses get assigned to brigades, Arthur, not regiments. Gee, Todd, you must have your vertical stuff up. You're getting all the interesting comments.
Oh, you having to block a lot out.
Well, what is he?
It's on your stream, not mine.
Explain this comment to me. You're obviously in the old. By the way, I just played TSS literally this week, and I played the the opening. I didn't get past I probably got to. I guess early was just coming on when I kind of called it, because I had to go back to work on Lee Moves North, but but remember the original TSS, which I was playing, didn't even have morale ratings. All of the morale, the checks were based on casualties. There was no ABC system. That came. In fact, I even had in this box the article Berg wrote in Moves magazine about assigning the first time he assigned morale ratings to the units in TSS. You remember that one, Hexley?
Yeah, matter of fact, on my TSS, which Andrew found me a couple extra games, my chart, one of the tables they have in there, the sheets, I took one, did a little Photoshop work, and put the morale letter table on that sheet so that I can play every game like that. So.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, but you had to look up, unless you could write on the counters, which I actually did not do, but I guess you could.
Your battle sheet, your loss sheet.
Yeah. But I had to, and I had that. That's how I did it. But it's better when it's on the counter. It's still better to have the rating where you can see it. You have to go look.
You can see it right there. Yeah.
It's just a little bit more cumbersome. But that's what I was playing with this week. I was playing with the morale system that was bolted on by Berg after the original TSS came out. But anyway, I have a GBACW question, of the one that you're going to clip for me, is when a regiment gets hit, the losses go to the regiment or they go somewhere else?
Simple, they go to the brigade leader. Regiment level, the full rules, each regiment's taking.
Okay, I see what they did. Okay, so they're assigning the losses to the brigade as a way to just simplify where the counters go and all that. Okay.
And then Arthur puts that in here. So what happens is depending on the sizes of the regiments, 7 is usually the number. Once you reach 7 losses on the brigade, you have to pull a regiment out to get you below 7 again. So it might look quirky when you're doing it, but it actually works. In a sense, it's almost the same.
No, I got to be honest with you. See, that to me is clever. And clever gets points in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cool thing about it, Mark, is that they're routing, aren't they, or something? And so then you might be able to bring them back in nighttime. So they might.
Well, you got to remember, I use that as a fundamental part of Rebel Fury. Is that units? I mean, yes, units do get eliminated sometime late in the battle, but they get blown, and because so after the wilderness, which I've been, we were talking about the line of battle thing. You could read Grant's report to Halleck after after the second day of the wilderness, and he doesn't talk about casualties even once. He's talking about, I have my chess pieces all exist still, and the Confederates lost 2 chess pieces. They lost a division, a brigade, and a regiment, and that's his letter. And so in his mind, units take casualties, but as long as I still got the chess piece to move around, okay, I had casualties. I mean, that was how he looked at it.
The straggler rule that CWBS and I think RSS has it, where you can recover stragglers every hour on the hour. I think that's the best, because I mean, we know there's cases where troops were running away and another regiment stopped them and picked them up.
Well, no, they have a provost. So at Gettysburg, there's a guy who's head of the provost guard, right? And they literally took the best guys, and they made, even at Pickett's charge, they had a line of guys with guns, and if you were running back and you didn't look like you were bleeding to death, they stuck a gun in your face and said, "Get back in the line, or I'll shoot you."
That's funny.
Well, the other thing that I've heard explained, particularly getting back to the simple rules, is Nathan actually came on and said, he explained it. He says, even though you're taking the losses on the line, if you pull a guy out from the back, what that's really representing is that unit being parsed out to those individual units up in the front to fill up the gaps.
Hey, look, the reality is it's all an abstraction, right? We're not. Yeah. Oh, he's got to show us his clipper.
6-sided dice. Now, I don't use these. I almost never use these things unless I get super thick counters. But that'll keep you from breaking these things.
Mark, we don't have time to talk about games and your wisdom and gaming. We got to talk about counter clipper. So thanks a lot, buddy.
I apologize. I keep missing. I'm just not in on what you guys are talking about. I apologize.
This is Potluck, baby. It's macaroni 1 minute and beans the next minute.
But the main thing is
crackers and whatever McMurray's eating.
But in all these games, we were talking earlier about, you got to have reaction fire. Yeah. You got to have some way of dealing with casualties and whether the unit hangs in there or not. You got to deal with how the ground is captured. Those functions have to be in every tactical game. Now, every designer has kind of looked at it a little bit differently, and the simple rules are looking at the same situation. See, I don't think, by the way, I don't like the fact that they're calling it the simple GBACW rules. I think they're just here's another version of GBACW. It's almost a new design, quite frankly.
I call them simplified.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think Mark, you're right, because when we were first doing all these interviews with Nathan and stuff, because I mean, obviously Hexicam, a lot of the people who played, you're just naturally going to compare it. And I was like, I think this should just be it's a different game. It's not even the same.
So from I know probably from camp, you can. And I agree. You're right. It a whole different rule set, but I still say that there is transitional.
Oh, for sure.
To the fold.
Peace. I'm just saying that the guy. So see, when Berg did the simple GBOH rules, get back to the history rules.
They weren't though.
Obviously, I was part of that, and I looked at them and said, "These aren't simpler, and they're really not. It's not even that different." He goes, "As long as we call it simple, they'll believe us." That's what he said to me. And I was like, I was working a full-time job, and this is what he was doing. And at some point, he won the argument. I lost. I won. I would say that with Berg, I won about 40% of the arguments, and I lost 60% of the arguments. And this is when I lost. And people go, well, I love simple GBOH, and I sit there going like, and I could just feel Berg. If there is an afterlife, he's laughing every time they say that. I mean, but I'm good with it because
very, very good marketing ploy.
Well, Berg's point to me why I said okay was he said, look, there's other systems coming along, and if we don't give them another option to play our game system differently, we'll lose market share to these other systems. I said, that's the best argument I've heard, so go for it. And it worked, by the way. To his credit, GBOH I think got a second lift out of it, and it's still around. And
I'm still trying to understand why that game needed a simplified set of rules.
Because again, I think it was more of a marketing ploy on his part that I agreed to than it was really making it simpler. Because again, you have to understand the period. There was like 2 or 3 other tactical systems trying to get in there, and he was just wanted to destroy them. I mean, that's really what he said to me.
Andre, your questions are good, brother. Well, I would have to say of all of us in this room, Todd's probably the biggest on the ASL stuff. And as he sees them, if he's got something to say, he'll say something, I'm sure. Richard.
Sorry, I was trying to do something here.
Yeah, there you go. Stragglers returned. Yeah, there you go.
Well, also, but there was speaking, because I'm slowly starting to I actually have a tiny Shiloh. The Battle of Shiloh, by the way, at the the Grand Tactical level is 6 by 5 hexes. It's a very small.
Best Shiloh game ever, Into the Woods.
Yeah.
Best.
But anyway, my point is that there was a whole lot of guys who fell out of the lines, and they were huddling under the right by the river, and they never got them back into line during the battle. They just wouldn't go.
Yeah. The same thing with the Confederates with the overrunning the camps. They started rummaging around there and slowed their line.
Are you still playing that, or are you done? Give us some ups on that game there. What do you think?
No, I haven't started that yet. I was playing it to just learn it because I'm going to do the full battle. This is going to be the blind sword Shiloh first day. That I'm going to get started with another guy on Vassal. Probably in the next couple of weeks here.
You cheating on me?
What's that?
You cheating on me while I'm out of the loop?
I'll play anytime. I told you I got 5 games going on here. This is going to be my number 6.
We got over 50 people in here watching. Thank you all so much. For Potluck. Okay, I'm going to argue this one here. We got John here. All right, I'll say this here because somebody asked me this. Somebody asked me this a while back. You want to break into playing a Civil War game that you can get in fast? Grab any one of the Worthington games. Great, in my opinion, great intro system. I didn't have as much love for it. Worthington makes a great game. Gorgeous counters, gorgeous maps, nicely boxed. Not my thing. They're all gone now. But if you want to get in, it's a great game system to get in. It's not too hard to pick up and learn. Go in there and grab it.
Just for the record, Rebel Fury is easier, but that's just want to say that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're gonna preach for them to go get those. So
Yeah.
That's all I want to hear. No, I'm kidding. It's
Civil
sold
War
out,
Heritage
so it's
Series,
fine.
folks.
Got Thunderbolt Deluxe. He's on getting started with it. Yeah, play one of the play the Zama scenario. Get like one or two turn scenarios just to get into the system, or play one of the don't jump into one of the giant Hannibal scenarios. You'll be there. Yeah, pick one of the small ones to get going.
Before we get to Nordic's kiss ass comment, Andre, I mean, I suppose the tournament side of ASL has got it a little bit that way, but I know a lot of people who play ASL very narrative and just kind of playing it for fun. Like they're worried about, think about the rules, but they don't spend too much time on it. They don't worry about if they give themselves 2 minutes to look up a rule. If they don't find it, well, let's just kind of decide together and move. So I think the people that want to play that way, which I agree with you, I like that way. I'm not a tournament guy. They'll do it that way, I think. So I mean, you're right, though. I mean, there are people who optimize that game because it's the people who know the rules win that game. If you don't know the rules,
which game are we talking about there, buddy?
ASL.
Oh, yeah.
You have to know. I mean, you have to know the rules of every game. I get that, but there's a lot of rules in that game.
Hey, look, I got to tell you, not this WBC because that just ended and I wasn't there, but the one before this, I was sitting there. Kurt Schilling, the famous baseball player, was there. And he's running the tournament, and we were talking, and he's a very nice guy, by the way, and it's like these guys at the tournament level are just like, this is serious stuff. It's like chess players, and that's cool to see somebody reach that level of competence with a very detailed system. But for the rest of us, who gives a shit? I just want to play.
Yeah. So I think you have to kind of separate yourself from that and just know, like, I'm not going to be able to play Kurt Schilling in a game and ever win. But Jeff and I can sit down there and play a starter kit game, and we'll be have a good time telling the story and being goofing about my roles. Now let's get to Nordic's kiss up comment. I'm punching Empire of the Sun right now, Mark. All right. Kiss ass.
Well, I got to be honest with you. Well, first off, what's interesting to me is when that game came, so over the course of my career, I can tell you that most of the games I've designed over the last 15 years have pissed off the myopic, grognard types. And Empire of the Sun pissed the shit off of everybody in 2005. And it got low ratings and people were screaming, but eventually they get tired, they move on. One guy actually wrote, if you go on BGG, one guy who kept being frustrated that nobody was agreeing with him, and he wrote like 10,000 words about why Empire of the Sun sucks, which is really amusing to read. But, one game, but it just kept going, and now it's rated, I just looked yesterday, it's rated 8th on the Wargame list.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously stood the test of time. That new print's out, so I assume that's what Nordic's punching.
Yeah, and I have to say that the Burma scenario is a great solid. It's not a great competitive scenario because it's such a it's just a crazy theater, but it's a wonderful solid. I play it solitaire on the road all the time. It just plays 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I'm done pretty much.
Were there any changes in this new edition, or was it just
I did. No, well, there was, I don't want to get into the details, but there was a rule that was in the rules since like 2005, but people just kept not getting put into, sometimes in a rule set, they have to integrate 2 or 3 ideas to get the rule, get it correct. And it just didn't seem for some people to work. So I wrote a paragraph. This is what these 3 rules mean, by the way. And I'm hopeful that will, eliminate all of their, I don't understand this kind of stuff for the few. And by the way, the other thing is this RT, rally the troops, the computer will enforce the rules. You don't even have to know how to play the damn game.
Yeah.
You won't play it well, but you will definitely be able to play without reading the rules because the computer won't let you break the rules, which is nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
I'm gonna break the sense here for a second because I just know everybody's just dying to see this.
Yeah.
What's that?
You'll see.
You're not going to put a terrible picture up or something, are you? Uh-oh.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
There we go.
Yeah. Fuck
Whoa.
yeah. Get it, Jeff.
That is sweet.
I got some more roads to build, but I think I have all the troops I need to play some American Airborne against some Germans.
Looks like Hinkelstinkel's going against little Dusseldorf over there, shooting him on
Jab
the side.
Thundercock.
Now, how do I stop sharing? There we go.
You know, I gotta tell you, that looks like. Remember, I was talking about
All right.
sergeants.
Free pack. They look awesome.
That looked really cool, by the way. I gotta tell you, you know, the late John Hill was a big ACW miniature guy, right? You guys must know that, right?
He did Reb, Johnny Reb, right?
Yeah, he did do Johnny Reb, but more importantly, he used to build these, I mean, amazing diorama, you know, terrain boxes that fit together, and used to bring them to Historicon and stuff. These things were like works of art, you know, like your Kings Mountain thing, you know, and you know, and every time I saw them, you know, because I have painted, I could bring them out. I have a bunch of ACW miniatures that I have painted over the years. I could play Johnny Reb with them, but every time I saw it, Johnny would say to me, "You don't have enough railroad fence. You don't have enough fences. I bet you don't have enough fences." And I have literally 12 boxes of unopened fences that I never painted or put up, but he made me buy some. Ken, everything? Yeah, of course. The 7 days and Fair Oaks have solitaire rules.
Yep.
I mean, you can send those snake rail fences to McMurray. He wouldn't be sad.
I'm currently sitting
I got so many fences.
Not enough for a lot of scenarios.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I got to tell you, the thing that holds me back with miniatures is the basing.
Bocage.
I don't mind painting the figures, but the basing is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, ask McMurray. He agrees.
It's come a long way.
I know it has, McMurray. I don't mean to give you a hard
There's
time.
a lot of stuff
I struggle with that.
Like these now, Mark, that are pre-mixed. So you've got like
the flocking. You mean the flocking you glue onto the?
Well, that's the thing. It's got flocking in it. It's got a little bit of static grass. It's got some varying coarseness and colors of sand and whatnot. So instead of having to go through and layer and do all kinds of nonsense, you just get a good glue on the base, you dip it, you tap it off, and they look great.
Yeah, they look good. It's a lot easier now for sure. Or you make your own, but
glues have come a long way as well, to the point where you're not using, all-purpose white glue that's going to flop on you and is going to contract when it dries and eventually shrivel. It's real common that the bottles are sitting over there, but using a latex-based glue such that it just dries relatively rapidly, it's really tacky, and then it doesn't constrict. Also, it dries matte, so if you do lose something, it's not super obvious. I think you can do it, Mark.
Well, now you got. They're right over here. I'm gonna have to pull out a couple. Now the Hexy's showing his miniature.
Yes,
it's becoming a miniature talk. McMurray's dream.
Fuck,
now what we've got to do at Gettysburg, Jeff, is you gotta bring some paints and stuff so you can do a little painting. When we go out for a beer at 5 o'clock or so after you get off the field.
Hey, I'm home and in bed by 5 o'clock. What are you talking about?
You have 2.5 months. Start printing, start painting. I will get you all the files you need for 20
I need bushes and trees. Or hedges. Yeah, bushes and trees.
Oh, here we go.
Yep, cat litter's been a thing. Yep.
Let's see if I can get this
I'll
out of
get
here.
you bushes and trees, Jeff. We can do that.
Oh, easy now.
We can.
So Charles doesn't base a 6mm or 10 mil armor.
Hang on,
or 15 mil.
All right. Oh,
there you go. Bam.
That is
wait, hold on. Let's
focus on
that
it.
is the only
go.
gold standard of ACW 15mm basing.
What are you talking, Mark? Those look great.
With 3 or 4 miniatures each on a 1-inch by 3/4 inch depth base is the gold standard.
And here's hang on. Here's some Rebs. I'm showing the Rebs to make Hexy happy.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Mark, we got to be familiar. Can you turn them around so they look appropriate?
Oh, Andrew.
Those look awesome.
Yeah. So and by the way, yes, that is. I play Fire. I used to play Fire. Well, I can play Johnny Reb or Fire and Fury with these.
Yeah, right.
Correct.
That's what McMurray's saying. They're used for a lot of rules. So
I'm just looking for. Oh, this is a nice one. Hang on. I haven't pulled these out. This is like the first time these have been out of the box in like a decade.
Man, I thought you were straight up a war gaming. You're a nerd, man.
Just shut up, Jeff. We'll find some sleeves. Nice.
Man, good job. Those are good.
Outstanding.
what happened was my son got into Warhammer 40K, and so I was helping him paint stuff, and I said, I wonder if I could get into the. And John Hill, of course, is going, Mark, you should paint. So I started painting these things, and I got cavalry. I actually have a lot of this stuff that I'm looking at.
That's great.
Well,
All right,
Jeff,
now
we're going to print some houses.
Now we've got another day, Jeff, at Gettysburg for a miniature battle.
Oh gosh!
Apparently I've got multiple trays of this stuff, and this has been very nicely kept, though. They're in good shape, by the way.
Well, shit, Jeff. At some point in time, Toddy, we need to do like a walkthrough for something, like whether it's Gettysburg Soldiers, although that game is
a different one,
but like Rebels and Patriots or something. That way, Mark can bring this stuff with him to Gettysburg. Jeffy can print and paint houses because he's awesome at painting now. He's basically a stud. And then they can play like Rebels and Patriots. I have a spare copy. I'll send it to you guys. It's a great little miniatures game.
Wait a minute. I think I have. I have all my miniatures rules are upstairs, but I have. There's like 3 or 4 volumes of Fire and Fury, which has there's the base rules and then and all that. And did you guys ever look at Craig Taylor's? It was one of the last things he did before he died. The Gettysburg game that he did with you. It was plastic, like what do you call them? Fins or
flats.
They were flats, but what they had done was, thank you, Charles. They took I have to go find it, but they printed something, but then they put plastic on both sides of the printed thing, so you had a stand-up soldier with a base and you could do all of Gettysburg. And I have the division level, but they even had like a regimental brigade level. I mean, they had a lot of pieces, but I've never put the whole thing together because it looks like it'll take me like 2 days to do, but I still have it. But the rules are actually pretty interesting. Which is why I wanted to get it. But Craig Taylor did it. It's called Gettysburg, and it's a miniatures flats game for the pieces. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Yeah, the flats are cool. I do like the flats.
I'm trying to find it.
I saw that Wohan or Wofun.
Wofun.
Those are expensive though, man.
Well, yeah, they're really not.
Yeah, but they look really nice, and if you just
except for they look really nice as you're staring directly at them when they're perpendicular to you.
Yeah.
As soon as they're not, it's the most frustrating goddamn thing on the face of the planet.
All right, I'll send mine back then.
Arthur, so
you bought a bunch of Wolfun miniatures, Todd?
No.
Todd and I have kind of a policy
I wasn't looking directly at you. Look directly into the camera. Did you buy a bunch of Wolfun miniatures? You weirdo.
It's called. This is it. It's called Rally Round the Flag.
Oh, I have seen that. I never played it.
Yeah, anyway, if you look at the back, you can get a sense of what they.
On them, Jeff. There you go.
Oh, it's like oh yeah. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah, that makes sense for flats and that kind of thing. When it's kind of
you gotta understand, that's Craig Taylor, who did flat top. I mean, one of an amazing, by the way, fabulous guy from Georgia. Good had a very thick accent, wonderful guy. I loved him. He was like one of those guys. I felt like he was an older guy. I'm old, but he was older than I am, and he was just one of the guys I just really looked up to. And he's just a wonderful guy, by the way. What a great sense of humor. And you could ask him any question when I was coming up. I say, "What do you think about this?" He goes, "Well," and it's go on. It's just, but he did that game, and his rules. He had real. This was a real talent we lost when he died, but amazing guy.
Yeah, Alan, you and Ross do this, don't you?
Yeah, Notebook LM. It's a great way to look up rules and
I use it all the time. Questions. It's great.
I think
I'll tell you, our policy has been, Todd and I don't beat each other up. I mean, if we miss something, we miss it. If we miss it again the next week, we miss it. But eventually it catches and it sticks. I mean, play the damn games. Yeah.
And by the way, the other thing that's important is when you're playing the game, even if you're playing it not exactly according to Hoyle, if you're consistent about whatever the mistake is, it comes out fine. As long as you're consistent. You rolled it this way this time, and you did it the next 10 times, it's going to be fine.
Well, the one game I will say I'm not looking up rules. I think I've looked up like twice since I played it. Is the Rebel Fury these days?
What a guy.
No, seriously.
No,
We're,
you're
we're
right.
commenting. It's like we're thinking about strategy rather than thinking about
Yes.
rules.
It's funny because I'm pretty sure that those rules from that system, they're here. And I'm serious. I think I could throw it on the table now at any time and I can be playing it. All right. So, you know what? I've asked this question twice tonight. I'm not going to ask anymore because I only got one response to the question.
Someone's feisty.
So Arthur, you are now the proud owner of a new copy of Three Dog Deluxe, buddy. And I've got your address, I think, already. So I'll be sending that down to you, sir.
Arthur,
Well, you done got 2 monster games out of me.
Dang.
And Arthur, if you're there, you better respond because you're getting it.
Yeah, whether you like it or not.
He's still there. He just commented a little bit ago, a couple minutes ago.
Don't tell you guys. I'm just gonna wait till the next time I go out to Jeff's. I'm gonna take my unpunched / partially punched copy, put it right on the shelf, take his off.
Hey, you can't because I'm sending Mark my already punched copy, and he's sending me his unpunched copy.
Works for me, man. Works for me.
Mo.
Like you're gonna leave it unpunched. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I get fit. You know,
we
all have our rites of passage to play.
Oh, it's Mo.
I have to punch. So
yeah, you're gonna next time golf's on, you're gonna be sitting there. McMurray, you punch too slow. Nah, I'm a gremlin.
Hey, meandering Mike, did someone get?
Yeah,
there we go. Hey,
Mikey.
Mike.
Flooding the room here.
Michael, it's a good day to see you.
Arthur, I'm going to look through my email and find your address. I might have it saved in my USPS stuff, but if not, I'll reach out to you.
I have a feeling what kills me is that I see these names. I must have met my meandering Mike somewhere along the way. I can't imagine these guys. I haven't met these guys.
I bet you have. Like he gets around.
Well, I don't. They use handles. They don't use the names that they. Like when I met Hex, I said, "Dude, what's your real name?" And he told me, so I called him Jeff because that's his name. He's not some warlock.
Yeah.
I do, Arthur. You know I do, Arthur. I told you I did.
Here we go. I got another thing here. This came in just today. I'm going to show you some here if I can flip my camera around. I think you'll like this. And think about from Gettysburg as well. Gettysburg 77.
No,
I know that game. I got that game over here. I got that game. Yeah.
All right. How do you like this?
Sharpsburg.
Yep.
Wait a minute.
How do we make it bigger?
Now, the weird thing about that game is a cool game, but there was a really weird thing. I have a feeling that, I don't think terrain mattered in combat. Is that a recollect? Or that maybe that was not the
only in the very base game. Terrain doesn't matter. In the intermediate, it goes, whoa, what?
Yeah, I remember that was an early comment, but of course, if you play the advanced rules, you get all that stuff. Yeah.
No, even the intermediate rules, which are really nice and playable, it's got stuff in it. What are we looking at, Alan?
Well, that's what I was going to say. This is not a game. This is actually a map. I just picked up. Antietam, yes. But it's in the style of Gettysburg 77. This is actually published by the Antietam Institute, which is a kind of a round table for Antietam. They do a lot of interesting stuff. And Mark, if you haven't seen them, you should take a look at them. Because they got a lot of detailed stuff you may be interested in.
One of the biggest challenges, because it's right there on the map, basically, is the sunken road is such an interesting part of that battle. And, so I was at Antietam, I don't know, a long time ago, and we were a bunch of friends, and we didn't actually have cell phones. We had walkie-talkies. And so what we did was a couple of us got into the sunken road, and a couple of guys walked towards us. And we would say, okay, I can see you. They go, I can't see you. And we did that for a while. It was amazing how we could shoot at them technically for 80 yards, and they couldn't see us until they were literally on top of us. But what happened historically is, remember, it's a sunken road, but it wasn't a trench. So the road was worn down in one section, which is where they attacked. But at one end, it was basically ground level. And eventually the Union figured out how to get around the end of it. Yep. So I sort of handle it interestingly in the Antietam game in Lee Moves North, but it's a defensive position until the Union figures out the trick, and then it's no longer useful because then you're enfilading him right down. Yes, is the answer, Charles.
Alan, can you keep it zoomed in like this and just
Yeah.
pan it south a little ways down Antietam Creek?
Andrew forced me to walk up that tower.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Whine about it some more, why don't you? A little bit further, Alan. A little bit further. All right, now, right there, can you put your markers on Burnside Bridge there?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I know what he's getting ready to say.
So if you bring your tweezers up about a half an inch. No, yeah, perfect. And then right along that wood line.
Right here.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Where you had it all the way up on the north end. There you go. So right about there.
Oh my gosh.
Where Jeff and I almost got caught by a couple nice.
No. It was south of Burnside's Bridge in the woods.
No, it's north of Burnside's Bridge.
No, it wasn't because we didn't. I hadn't walked down to the bridge yet.
What did you guys do? Find a couple of girls? What are you talking about?
They were
Oh,
with the
you're right, that
dog,
was
and
south.
McMurray got us in trouble.
That was south. I didn't get us in trouble.
So anyway, moving on.
What is this like a southern date gone bad? What the hell are you talking about?
No, it was very well hydrated, plus like 20 or 30 minutes from the bathrooms in the visitor center.
Hey, okay. So to top that off, Todd and him wander off down the hill, right? I slowly start to move my way down there. And when you come out of the parking area on top of the area there, where I guess it was Toombs regiments were up there, the Georgians, it arcs down to the bridge. Well, there's a split right there as soon as you come off. And McMurray went to the right to go potty, and Todd went on down to the bridge. Well, I had to potty too, so I went around the way McMurray went. And as I went around the corner, I still hadn't caught up to him yet. He was off in the woods. Here come two girls walking a dog, and he's over there in the woods. And then we got down to the bridge, and there's a snake sitting on the walk rails of the bridge that they didn't warn me about.
No.
What kind of snake?
There's just a black
a
grass
racer,
snake. Oh, come
black
up, you're
eraser.
fine.
Yeah, but it was significant. It was a nice
Yeah, he's
size.
a good size. But
Just-
we
Was
came
it
off
like
the
a
bridge.
copperhead? Was it a
No,
copperhead?
black
No.
Oh,
No. He'd have been aggressive.
This is Maryland. They do have copperheads in Maryland. I've lived there.
Yeah, I mean the guy working on the bridge wasn't worried about it. He was like,
No.
it's fine.
But those guys, they walked back up. I said, y'all are going to have to go get the car and come down and get me. So I walked out to where the bus stop was and sat there and waited for them to drive down and pick me
With
up.
the-
I
with
was
the
not
other old
walking back up
people.
that hill.
Well, because of the snake?
No, just it was starting to get warm. Jeff had enough walking.
You know, one
You gotta
time
worry.
I was playing golf in Florida, and my ball, it wasn't a bitch. I was a little off to the right towards the water, and there was a gator of some kind, sunning itself, and it wasn't a small one. And I looked at where the ball was and where the gator was, and I'm saying,
Yeah.
can I? And no, I took the shot, but and it was one of the best 5-irons I hit the whole day. But I was looking at that gator, like as I'm hitting the ball, I'm going, where the fuck is the gator moving? Okay, boom, and I backed up quick. I figured I could outrun. I know gators are supposed to be able to move fast for a short distance, but I figured I could dodge left or right fast when he could turn. So, but I did hit a good 5-iron, probably 60, 70 feet from a gator. So I didn't think he could get me that fast, but I was watching him.
Well, what about our experience?
This
We
is
got
for
the
Nordic.
Those Burnside pissed.
Nordic, I visited one of your Pennsylvania golf courses. on
Hexy
Thursday,
looking
and
for wife number 4. That's interesting.
Yeah, he's going to come out and marry Todd.
Hey, Hexy, I was sitting at a table. I was at this golf tournament. We do this yearly golf tournament for the Stony Brook Athletic Department. And I played golf just a couple of weeks ago. And I'm sitting at a table with a couple of friends. And one guy had been married 3 times. Another guy had been married 4 times. Another guy married twice. I've only been married once. And they're all giving me marriage advice. I said, you know that marriage is like golf. Low score wins.
Yeah. Why I'm awesome at it.
I mean, really? You guys are telling me about marriage? You can't seem to stick to one of them long enough.
we played Great Cove, and I played it very well. I've never seen that course before, but I tell you what, I'm going back. I loved it.
Where is it in Pennsylvania?
McConnellsburg.
Oh, okay.
It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
even an hour from here. So
Mo, that's
I know
correct.
where it is.
It's the old joke. You don't have to. I don't have to outrun the bear. I have to just outrun you. Right? Is that the? That's the
I got news
Yeah.
for you. If I got to run away from something and somebody's near me, I'm knocking them down.
Yeah, that's a good joke.
Andre, you never have to apologize being on this channel, looking at maps and making battle plans. I do it all the time, driving around the country. I'll be some, oh, look at that trees. You could hide troops there. My son even says it before I even say it. Look at those. Yeah, I know, Dad. You can hide troops in them. I'm like, no.
I like that one, Mo. They have a higher handicap than me. That's funny. Yeah, she came down here a while ago. I'm in the basement, but she closed the door. Apparently, I was being too loud anyway. The girls are trying to fall asleep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, come on. She hadn't figured this one out by now?
What's that?
That we're loud and who's that good-looking guy?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, geez.
Oh, sexy Jeffy. Look at that guy.
1981 in Mannheim, Germany. Look at that. Look at that haircut with that part down the middle.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that hair.
That's the 80s.
I like the paratrooper scarf there, too.
Yeah. It's funny. We only had one.
We only had one.
Had to share
The whole fucking platoon had to share on picture day.
Yeah.
Look, give me that bag. My mom sent me that. Shut up, Jeff.
That's
sure.
God,
We
I
made
love that
a
stuff.
Tinder profile with that, Mo, and Jeffy was really.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I miss that time period because I mean, granted, I know it was still East and West Germany, but man, I loved Germany when I was there. But you know what? I don't think you can get me to go back now.
Oh yeah, I know there's an imminent threat of nuclear war in World War III, but German poontang was great.
My buddy at work, he just came back from a cruise. They were in Kaliningrad, former Königsberg.
Yeah, you said that, yeah.
And they were in Tallinn. And he said when they got off the boat in Königsberg or in Kaliningrad, he said military everywhere. And his wife said, I swear to God, those are Americans. I said, we got GIs over in Poland right now. So could have been. Dave Powell told me when he guides battlefield tours, he walks fast and fairly far ahead of the group to make them keep moving. Yeah. We're going to have tour guide Phil with us in Gettysburg in October.
I walk slow and right in front. That way Jeff smells when I'm crop dusting him, and then he walks faster.
Tour guide Phil just takes you into all the areas where you're going to get overrun with bugs and everything else. He takes you to the heart of everything. So
awesome, dude.
So we have to bring some. You know what we got to do? We got to get two-sided tape, because you put it around. If you go to Gettysburg, and I've been there before, you put the two-sided tape down at the bottom of your jeans. So when the ticks try to crawl up your leg, they get stuck.
Oh, or you just use it to pad off your jeans and your lower legs. Use that in a credit card. You'll get everything you need off. I'll pull seed ticks right off them.
Yeah, we'll have to bring some tick spray because the National Park Service does not spray for anything because that's
no.
Good one, Toll. All right, so Mark, what are we working on? I know you're still working on the Gettysburg thing. Come on, give us something that nobody knows about that you can tell us.
I just P500 at Lee Moves North, so I appreciate you pulling me into another system, Mark. Thanks.
I do appreciate it. So
shit. Okay.
We got about 130. We got 130 to go, I guess, at this point. Well, the thing actually that I'm trying to get onto quickly is we're finishing up a War Galley Deluxe, and I'm doing so Defiance is at the printer, Mo. So it's in China. Which is interesting when you think about it. But anyway, Defiance is in China, and I would say this is a wild ass guess, but I would say Halloween you could see games landing in the country. So certainly by Christmas, for sure. That game has just been it's just taken forever to get that game out. But that's the answer. And also, Mo, we've updated the Vassal set if you want to sit down and talk about it. But I should have an advanced copy. I'm going to say I'm going to have an advanced copy by in September usually. Usually I get about a month before the game lands, 5-6 weeks before the game lands, I get a copy. But that's the answer to Defiance. But anyway, I'm working on doing the Peloponnesian War scenarios for War Galley. That's a naval game, Hex, so you don't want that one.
Oh,
And then I
We'll
got
get
this
them in.
China. I told you it was mentioned earlier, the China expansion for. Now it's really a standalone game, though. I want to be clear. You don't require, if you never bought Empire of the Sun and you want this one, you can get this one. You don't have to worry about. Oh no, excuse me. You will need Empire of the Sun, but the board and the rules are integrated. But you do need the original to play. It's not a standalone game. Now I'm thinking about it. And then Lee moves north, of course, and then Triumvirate is slowly winding its way through. I handed in. I got like 4 games in production right now.
Is Triumvirate Great Battles of History?
No, Triumvirate is a great statesman series. Churchill, Pericles, Versailles, in that vein. It's a political military game. You're Caesar. Yeah. So again, a 3-player game, not for you guys. It's not an ACW tactical game. I guarantee that. What else? One thing you guys might be interested in. So a long time ago, Richard Berg, when he had this company called BSO or something like that, anyway, it doesn't matter. He published a game called Louisiana Tigers, which is a regimental, it's a company level ACW game of the battle for Matthews Hill at First Bull Run. Okay. So so the units in the game is you've got the 1st and 2nd Rhode Island, which is from Burnside's brigade at that battle. And you've got, the famous, Wheats Tigers, and you've got part of Evans's 4th South Carolina. And, it's a game with orders. And what's cool about it, it's got like smoke and noise and, counters and all sorts of crazy shit. It's a very crazy Berg game. And so stood for Berg simulations only, for Berg's spiel only. Okay, that sounds right. Anyway, he might have sold 50 copies of this thing. It was all out of like a Kinko's. You had to mount your own counters. Anyway, C3I is going to republish. We're going to republish it in C3I. I'm cleaning up the rules, and I'm going to add a scenario for Herbst Woods at Gettysburg between the Iron Brigade and Archers, Tennesseans in Herbst Woods. Nice. There'll be an additional scenario. So that's coming, but that's like I just do that to help Stephen McGowan. So we're pulling that together. And then, and of course, the big project that I'm just starting up, really, I'm restarting up, is Mad Dog of the Med, which is Empire of the Sun Goes to the Mediterranean. 1940 to like 1942. That's kind of just kicking on. But right now it's the Peloponnesian War. Triumvirate, Defiance is done.
What is Defiance? What is Defiance?
Defiance is the battle for the first 5 weeks of the Ukraine-Russian war.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the battle for Kyiv. So, but that's a cool game, by the way. I have to say, I'm very happy with that game. I did with David Doctor.
When you mentioned Bull Run, I would love to know. There could be one out there I don't know, and it would probably be something I would read. Is I would love to have somebody to do a deep study on Evans' action at First Bull Run, because he was covering so much ground in that first Battle Bull Run. I'm wondering if there's a book out there or if any study's ever been done on that.
Well, there is a number of books on Bull Run. Was it Davis? I think is the guy's name. Burke Davis.
You got Davis, and then you got the companion to what Jeff you just showed for Bull Run by what's his name? I can't think of it now. I've got it upstairs.
Hennessy, the second Bull Run.
Hennessy, yeah, he's got.
No, is the answer. Triumvirate sounds awesome. Thank you, Kevin. There's no gold drinking. Anyway, so what else is it? There's a Pericles reprint, so I've got that. Pacific War reprint. If those things ever hit their numbers, I'm not sure they'll be reprinted, but I got them out on the table. And one more game that's important is Caesar, Rome versus Rome. I'm doing with Mark Simonich a card-driven game of the Roman Civil War.
Oh. Interesting.
I didn't know Pacific.
Well, I had to look around my tables to see what's out here.
That's funny. I didn't know Pacific War needed a reprint. That's interesting. Wow.
Well, it's sold out, so that's
It's amazing.
Are you changing that game any, or just a reprint?
There is the only for the strategic scenarios. I've made some modifications to the merchant marine submarine war, but nothing else. Just that. Typically guys have found, there's always guys who are able to like push some levers in a direction that I never thought was possible. And so I have to like, it's just
tweak it.
Yeah, but the good news, if you bought the reprint, not the original, which you can get pretty cheaply these days, which is fine as far as I can tell. If you get the reprint, all you'll need is the free rules online. NATO, that's a good game. That's a Bruce Maxwell game.
Better than the new one.
Since I don't know the new one, I'll agree with you.
Mark, were you saying Pacific War, the older box, is good to play as well, or were there enough changes to? I mean, obviously it lasted a long time. I'm just curious. You know what I mean? Like,
I gotta be honest with you. If you right now, you could probably get a Victory Games Pacific War for, I would expect, fairly cheap, especially if it's punched, which most of them are. I just get that right now until like the new one, if we ever reprint the other one.
Do you
like
play it with
my
the new
copy? Like my copy, Todd? That's one of the few games I had where I punched everything and traded, and I couldn't put it all back in one box.
Yeah, well, it's got a lot of counters. It's got like, I don't know how many fucking counters I put in that game.
Do you play it with the new rules or just use the rules in the box?
I would. If you get the Victory Games version, you need to play the version in the box.
Okay. And Jeff, Jeff, you have the old version? Is that right? I don't remember that.
I have, whatever the one that's available.
Oh, you have the new one then. Yeah. Mark and I were talking about the Victory Point, the one that came out.
That was 60.
Okay.
When did that come out, Mark, originally?
Which one are we talking about now, there, buddy?
Victory Game Pacific War.
1985.
Oh, wow.
I was 33.
15. Not playing these. That's cool.
-4.
It was a long time ago.
I don't own a Victory Games game that's bad. I just don't.
That seems like there were a lot of good ones I hear. But
I mean,
I gotta tell you, we had a lot of talented guys at Victory. Yep, Korean War, Joe Bolkowski. Yeah, it's a great game.
It's the only one I have.
That's,
people love that Vietnam one.
One here I think this one's better than the new one.
I gotta tell you something. Again, this is just me, right? If you like a game, if it gets redone, fine. But if the original one made you happy, what the hell?
Yeah. Well,
I would say the only
Hell's Highway. Only problem with that game was they were so crappy at cutting counters.
Yeah, the counter stuff.
The gutters on the counters are ridiculous because we couldn't. They were giving us all these crazy specs. Now we eventually got better at it after we got through the first batch. That's one of the first batch ones. We started having a better understanding of how to build the gutters so the counters could be better. But that was a real. We were really worried about die cutting.
Well, what do you know about NES redoing this?
So I've seen John Butterfield play it. It looks really great. It's beautiful, and John's had 36 years to think about it. So I'm guessing he's improved it. I mean, John Butterfield is a very, very talented designer.
Yeah, they were just playing it at WBC. I saw.
Yeah, I've seen him play it. It looks great.
Okay, well, after you answer this question, I have a question for you, Jeff.
Why do you think I can't answer that question?
It's the look. I mean, I've got both of them. Matter of fact, Todd, I think you sent me the Vietnam one.
I might have.
I've got it
because Mitch is here who redeveloped it. Yeah, so I might have got a copy of it.
I don't know. I guess the way it looks. I mean, I like the older counters. It's funny. All the games that we get today. I mean, everybody's doing. I mean, a majority of the companies are doing such great work with the maps and counters. But I like some of that old flat, coated color. And I still think GMT, their current counters that they're making now, I still think they're the best.
By the way, somebody said this. Somebody at the Vietnam doesn't play. So look, any game where the gameplay, you remember, you got hidden Viet Cong, Vietnam, movement, and it's always going to play. Pacific War's got hidden, task forces. So you can play it solo, right? But but you're never going to, you can't fool yourself with what's where, right? So that part is always going to be missing unless you're playing it. Everybody's very into this whole solo thing, and honestly, unless unless the game is almost designed to be solo, it's going to be some kind of
Hidden
stuck on
movement is
thing.
the only thing I cannot overcome. That's
What's
it.
that?
That's the only thing in games. That's the only thing I cannot. If there's a hidden movement thing, that's the only thing I can't. I have ways that I try to do it that work for me, like with cavalry screening and stuff. But like a lot of these games we play now with like the aircraft and stuff, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I have my little rule that I play for aircraft responding to incoming flights, whatever, and it works really well for me. And I think in reality, for me, it provides a slight bit of realism instead of just knowing that, because it doesn't make. Let's take OCS for example. Was it 10 hex flight rule for responding aircraft? If you're the non-phasing player, well, if I'm the phasing player in real life, I'm not going to know that they have aircraft in the air. And they're probably not going to know that I have aircraft in the air till it might be too late, or they get lucky and they happen to be in the area. So I have my little dice rolling rule that works for me when using aircraft and opposing aircraft in a game. And I think it works just fine.
Yeah, I hear you. And like I said, when I did the Peloponnesian War, it was a solitaire game. I designed it as a solitaire game, and it plays great as a solitaire game. And it's actually and then a bunch of people created a 2-player version, which is fun, but it's still a better solitaire game than it is a 2-player game. But again, Butterfield's done some great things with solitaire, but what he does is, he's got a map where he's actually putting in, you're going to move like this, So yes, it's solitaire, but you're not being fooled by where the units are. You can see the track, it's, so that's fine. If that's what I play games for the narrative, the historical feel of the thing, and I'm not really too worried about solitaire. Means like you care who wins, and I don't really care anyway.
Well, the other thing is, truly paying, 2 halves of your brain. I know it gets hard to do that, but I'm still capable of doing that because I'm probably getting better because I'm forgetting what I did with the other side 2 minutes after I did it.
Well, there's that. When I've been playing this Leibniz North Gettysburg campaign, what I'm digging on is I'm still discovering, this is a real terrain, right? And I don't know every single road that was in that area at that time, but I'm saying, oh, wait a minute. So I'm still discovering tactical opportunities, not because it's solitaire, just because, just learning what's possible is still interesting. There's so many things that I'm still discovering stuff in these scenarios, the sandbox ones, that are like, wow.
Well, that's what I mentioned to you with the game that I sent you with that log is both of us last night when we're playing Rebel Fury Spotsylvania, my opponent made one move, and both of us were like, "Oh my god, that's the best move of the turn, if not the game."
And what was this sort of describe the move? I just like to hear it.
What it was I was playing the Confederates, so I'm moving Kershaw and Field. They've got the march and everything, so they're trying to race over to Spotsylvania. And I've got them on some church road. I forget what it is there.
Yeah, it's called Old Church Road.
Yeah. So I'm coming down there. I forgot to move my cavalry out so he doesn't come down 2 hexes next to me and all of a sudden cut off that road. And both of us didn't realize it until he moved. And he's like, "Oh, I just saw this." And I'm like, "Yeah, that might be the best move of the night." Because now I've got to get in there, flip, and now I'm doing 1 hex at a time for 8 moves to get over where I want to be.
Yeah, that's what's interesting about that particular, Sheridan really was he was a very aggressive guy. He was a good combat leader, almost too dangerous a guy for his own good sometimes, but he sucked at recon. He didn't understand screening. It just wasn't, he was not really a cavalryman. He was really like just a combat guy, and so when he fucked up so badly when Grant does the turning movement. If Sheridan had been doing his job beforehand, the cavalry would have screened the original May 5th attack, which they didn't do very well. They had like a regiment at Parker's store pretty much, and that was about it in the van. And the Confederates, head slammed into those guys, pushed them back. And then they actually, remember, Sheridan's guys occupied Spotsylvania Courthouse, and then they left.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing, it's very hard in a game to make somebody play stupidly, but what ends up happening is somebody doesn't make a great move and it happens. You go, oh, well, that shouldn't have happened. The answer is, well, it kind of did historically. Somebody screws, you know.
And that's the thing that we thought about. We're both like, oh my God, that's the best move of the night. And that came about just from the fact of the maneuvering. It wasn't any special rule, wasn't anything in there. It was just the fact that we're playing. Now, if I was playing that solo, would I do that? I might not have caught that. You know, having that second brain on the other side of the table, you know, adds that dimension of they're looking at something and seeing a different perspective of the whole thing and gets that. Now, sometimes I can do that split personality and see that type of thing, but, you know, I
tell me this. Tell me this, though. Have you not? And I guarantee, and if you tell me you haven't, I think you're lying to me. Anybody out there, tell me you haven't been playing a game by yourself, and maybe you've executed a turn, and you're into the next turn, or maybe you're a couple turns later, and you look back and say, "Oh my God, that was genius! What I did with them 2 turns ago." Because you start to see the payoff. A couple, you know, like maybe putting somebody into what you think is going to be a good blocking position or something like that. You know?
But that's why you play the game in the first place, to see those moments.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
and but to the point of, you know, history is what happened, and as long as what happened in history is resident without any, you know, monkey wrenches in the game, that's cool. But you got to look at the paths not taken. Otherwise, just read the book. You know, that's the whole point.
Exactly. That's why we play the games, to do those other dimensions that weren't explored in the real thing.
You know, and that was a big thing for a while in card-driven games. You know, when I've always done card-driven games, I like the more sandbox version of the world. You know, I don't want to have that same game over and over again. I want it to be within the realm of what happened. And then, you know, you got games where they have like an early, mid, and late war deck, and then guys, you know, they start card counting. You know, like, you know, there's only 30 cards. I can keep track of 30 cards. And so these guys get really good at the game, but they're not playing the history. They're just playing the game. And that's the part that I don't like. But that's the scripted versus non-scripted. I even wrote an article about it a million years ago for McGowan. But you know, that's just the philosophy of people, of what they want. You know, some people want their history on rails. They want to see it. They want to experience it. That's a version of the game that's totally 100% fine. But some of us, like myself, I want that in there, and that can happen. And I want I want the decision space to be the same, but I want to be able to make different decisions sometimes, depending on what my opponent does, or even if I'm playing at solitaire.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you, I don't think I've ever been more frustrated, but pleased with a system like writing an order in CWBS, and then the battlefield changes, and I try to rewrite that order, and that leader's so damn stupid he won't accept it, or he throws it away, and you just can't move those troops. And I don't know. I just don't know anything else out there other, you know, I mean, GBACW has great command rules where units are not going to be able to do things, but I don't know another game system out there where nope, these guys are stuck. They're not moving out.
I handle that. So the way I handled that was the whole passing thing, which is a little bit unusual, but you know, what happens is if I get there's a moment where I got to where I want to be, and I'm sticking with that position, and you're not going to have an unlimited, if you didn't get your act together, you're not going to have an unlimited amount of moves to fix a situation. And so the passing thing solves a host of those issues just differently. You know, it's done mechanically. It's not done as, well, you got this order, you didn't get this order. But at the end of the day, the guy doesn't move because you had to move somebody else.
That poses a question with your system. What was your reasoning behind I'm done moving, now the other side's got to roll a dice to see how many moves they get?
That is the point. So what happens is, remember, what I'm trying to do is, it's supposed to be like simultaneous movement, right? You know, I don't want to do plotting. So you're doing alternating movement. So now think about Gettysburg on July 2nd. So in a normal game, you know, a game where I get to move my pieces and you get to move your pieces in some kind of manner, you know, Longstreet gets to where he's supposed to be half a day earlier than where he got there. Remember, the attack doesn't even happen until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. and Lee was hoping it was going to happen just before noon. So there's a 5-hour discrepancy. So now how do you account for it? Well, the union is already in this defensive position. Think of it that way, right? I don't have to do much. You're the one trying to do something. And so I'm going to say, hey, and all of the rules that you see in games about rolling dice for, did he accept the order? And, you get to see that narrative, which is fine. That's a very tactical narrative. But at the grand tactical level, as the Army commander, Lee says, he's a macro commander. He says, get this attack done. And there's just not enough moves available. The time and space stuff handles itself. And that's really the point of the passing, is that we're both moving simultaneously, but in the same amount of time, I got to where I was being, and you didn't get to where you wanted to be. And that's what's being caught. But it's abstract, of course. I mean, because I'm not making you write orders. I'm not making you roll dice 50 times. It just happens with one die roll, basically. And it works out that I've had guys play the Wilderness. I've had guys play all these battles who don't even know what the battle's about. I mean, I had two great designers, Cole and Drew Worley, who are great guys, very, 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 very potent designers, play Wilderness. They knew nothing about the battle, and it came out exactly like the battle because it just did. They didn't know anything about it.
Well, and you said our scenario that we played came in a similar, so that's good. I mean, I like that. We can modify the outcome by our gameplay, but at the same time, you've given us the ability to give that. Even though maybe we modify the outcome by a point that way or a point this way, we still get a similar historical response to the game, and I think that's
because geography and time, space and time are space and time, and I think I've captured the simultaneity, asymmetry through that mechanic because it seems to work. It captures all of the he didn't get to where he was supposed to be in time thing.
Fuck you,
from the courthouse, right?
Yeah. I mean that's exactly what happened. That's what happened with me last night. Is I got stopped because the Merritt's cavalry moved up and threw out skirmishers to slow them down. So
I tell you, that's one of two games I know that cavalry has an actual purpose in the game.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
By the way, just to give talking to Mark, I happen to know Mark. He's a very nice guy, by the way. He's I've met. He played in the Empire of the Sun tournament for a long time. I've been around him a long time. He's a good guy. So Mark, if you look at the game I like of Kevin Zucker has his Napoleonic library, but the one that I like is it's called Road to the Kremlin, something called.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Something
I
like that.
got that right here.
Yeah, and
green box.
he's got really good cavalry picket rules and stuff like that in there that really does seem to handle that kind of stuff.
Well, GCACW I think has the best.
Okay.
It does have some good stuff in there. I do like that.
Yeah.
That one.
I mean, yeah.
Yep, that's the one. Highway to the Kremlin. That's what it's called.
I kind of wonder why they didn't make more of those, but maybe the battle.
Well, he's got like different scales. He's got like the 1x scale, the 2x scale.
Yeah.
I think that one's is that one. Hexy, does that say the 5x scale on the box?
Probably. I think that's his biggest scale one.
It might be. I thought it was on the front of the box somewhere.
No, I don't see anything on the front.
Maybe it's in the back. But I think that was his 5x scale, which worked really well.
Yeah, Series 5X. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I recall.
There's a good comment from Mom.
The Campaigns of Napoleon 5X. Yeah, it's and it's really, really cool to see all the different outcomes. Now, granted, I'm not a repeat player for a lot of games. There's a few games that I'll put on the table, and play the same scenario once or twice, but it's very rare. And it's really kind of cool to see, and especially if you can remember, like, I played it this time and I failed to do this, and this side got punched in the face. And then when you come back and play the scenario again, and you're like, okay, I don't want that to happen again. What can I do differently? I guess if I played repeatedly more games or more of the same scenarios, I'd probably get a lot more. But I don't do a lot of that. But it's cool to see something different than what we know historically.
Yeah. Also different ways of thinking about it.
So there's Axis Empires is based on an original game called Krieg, and the way the game starts, at least in the original Krieg, is it's starting off with the invasion of Poland. It doesn't have all this political stuff. So you play this ultimatum card, and the Germans roll a die, and 1 through 5, you declare Poland basically the target, and you invade them. Right? You could declare war. But there's a 6 die roll. It says roll on these, and then there's all these weird conference and guarantees tables. And every so often, I would roll a 6, and I would usually go, "Fuck it, I'm just going to invade Poland. I'm not going to go deal with all this nonsense." But I remember one time I was with Alan Emmerich at WBC a million years ago when the game first came out, and I rolled a 6, and I said, "Oh damn, I don't." He goes, "Let's see what happens." So what ended up happening was the interesting part is that now the Germans, Poland became aligned through this weird process. Poland became subverted to an Axis ally. So all of a sudden, Poland isn't being invaded; they surrender more or less to the Germans without a war. And all of a sudden, the German army's on the Russian border, and the British are under appeasement. So the British can't do anything to the Germans unless the Germans do something to them because of the deal, right? You know, and Poland didn't get invaded, so the British don't issue an ultimatum, and so the game became a screw so the Western Ally guys wait and say, how do I get in this game? And meanwhile, the Germans are piling on, and the war between Germany and Russia starts like in 1939, or actually 1940, and it was really an interesting game. And eventually, you run out of the what they call the limited war cards. So the war does kick on eventually, but it goes for a while. So there was almost like a 1 year, almost 2 year period where it's just the Germans and the Russian Soviets killing each other, and the Germans were doing pretty well. And it was just a different on the war that you never see.
Right.
Yeah, I know some guys who love playing that starting. Gosh, the new one I think starts very early, maybe like
that's the 37, 36 or whatever.
Early 30s or something. But they just love it because it just tells all these different stories, all these crazy different. It's like because we'll play the regular real games enough, and it's like let's do something different. But you still get some history out of it and some. I don't know. It's fun.
And like I said, what happened in that one game long ago was it was a plausible story. It held up. Mentally, I wasn't like, oh my God, this is stupid. It was like, oh, this is kind of, maybe. It didn't happen this way, but could have been reasonable. And the Germans, and by the way, the Soviets aren't pushovers at that point either. So it's not like the Germans rolled them over, but it was a different war. It was just different. And it was interesting because it was different.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, hey, over 2 hours tonight. Good stuff. Yeah. Man, we stayed up there 48, 49, 50, 50. We had well over 50 there for a little while. Good stuff. Appreciate all the input in the chat tonight. This is good stuff. Mark, great conversation. Andrew.
Yeah, thanks
for having me.
With us, Cam.
Yeah.
And everybody who doesn't have Lee Moves North.
Yes.
Go order it now, right now. Just open up.
I did put the intro video just this one time for the closing, so those didn't get a chance to see it. Not real fancy, but hey, I'm learning, so y'all can watch that. Thanks again, everybody. Get over there, get your Lee Moves North on pre-order, and keep your eyes out for other stuff. And we'll talk to y'all later.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.